Welcome, everyone, to the Islanders and Never Say Die podcast. I'm your host, TJ, and with me here again, as always, is our NHL analyst and expert, the Grumpy Old Man. They say there's no shame in his game because he is always the same.
That's me.
Grumpy, how are you doing this fine Saturday evening?
I have a headache.
Is that why you have a headache? Too much college football you've been watching, Grump?
Yeah, I'm watching it right now.
I know you are, Grumpy. Anyway, let's see if we can get a good podcast in for the Islanders content, though, Grump. For those of you who are new to the show, welcome. This is a twice-a-week Islanders podcast that happens every Wednesday and Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, today we've got a pretty full docket, Grumpy. We're going to be talking about Corey Proman, the fantastic evaluator of young, talented, skilled individuals. His analysis on I think it's the top 100 or the top 150 players under the age of 23 years old. We're going to talk about those ratings. We'll talk about JT Miller, the last hope many Islander fans had to improve this offseason as well. What was the outcome with him signing an extension with the Vancouver Canucks, 7 years, $8 million AAV. We'll talk a little bit about that and what we expect coming up. So again, if you're new to the channel, we invite you to stick around a while. We invite you to subscribe on YouTube, to like on Facebook, and to follow on Twitter. And also, if you enjoy the content, the best way to let us know is by leaving a thumbs up. Apparently, it helps the algorithm, and it lets us know you enjoy what we do. But Grump, we are in the dog days of summer. It's almost like we could start. I mentioned this last show too. We could start to see preseason peeking his head around the corner. It looks like the Islanders, the moves that even people possibly espoused. Oh, maybe JT Miller because Vancouver is going to be right over the cap. How could they manage to extend him? He's going to want big money. They apparently were shopping him at the NHL draft, and the Islanders were very close to making a deal. The Islanders still might be in on JT Miller, guys. That was the big item, right? That was the last hope we had. JT Miller is the guy that we need. Put JT Miller in the Islander fans' veins, Grumpy. Well, he did sign that extension with the Vancouver Canucks.
Good. I mean, he was going to be, 30? On the wrong side of 30 by the time his contract starts next year. I'm glad that's not us because, as everyone knows, my motto is you don't sign guys over 30 to long-term deals, unless they're real superstars, and he's not. Would he have been a nice fit for Matt Barzal? Absolutely. but did you want to pay him $8 million a year? Or I guess, what was it, 7? Was it 8 years or 7 years?
7 years, 8 million
Okay.
per.
So 8 million per. I
Mhm.
don't know. I don't think what's a contract going to look like when he's 36, 37, and 38? Those are the questions you have to ask yourself. I just look at the sports landscape and how it's changed when it comes to signing players. And when teams, and this is in all sports, not just the NHL, teams are looking to lock up players at a younger age, even before they've totally proved themselves, to get a jump on maybe getting a discount going forward, having them locked up through their prime and let somebody else make a ridiculous contract signing afterwards. I think it's smart. The smart teams, that's what they do. Like I said, not just in the NHL, you're seeing it in Major League Baseball as well. I mean, just a very interesting concept, and you're starting to see that. But I do think the NHL started it first, honestly, with Toronto trying to lock up, Matthews and Marner and guys like that to long-term deals before they had to.
I wasn't expecting you to take it down that path, but it's not wrong. But I mean, like that, right? JT Miller, and you posed a question, what would if he looked like, coming at the age of 35, 36, 37, etc. I mean, this team is designed to where the window was very short. That would have been a move for him, would have been applicable to saying, yes, it is Stanley Cup or bust like it was last year. I mean, I assume that's no longer the credence. That's no longer the mentality of this team, wouldn't you? I mean, like, I know that I'm sure that, they're looking for, hey, we want to be able to rebound, or we want to be able to prove the haters wrong. It's no longer Stanley Cup or bust. But the underwhelming offseason, which was about 95% solidified, I think on Friday when JT Miller signed that extension, became 100% solidified and utterly disappointing. There were so many moves to be made. There were opportunities, and we didn't capitalize on any of them in a substantial way. And everybody's now throwing out Sonny Milano, Sonny Milano, Sonny Milano. Well, holy shit. What a disappointing offseason if Sonny Milano, the possibility of Sonny Milano joining up with the Islanders or maybe having, a preferred tryout is, that's the linchpin of the offseason besides the Romanov trade that happened before free agency even began.
I wouldn't be opposed to bringing in Sonny Milano on a professional tryout. Why not? What's wrong with that? I don't have a problem with it.
Hold on. I didn't say I had an issue with it. I'm just saying it's pretty disappointing. Wouldn't you believe that now it's all on, hey, we're going to bring Sonny Milano, and that's where the excitement is? That's not very exciting, would you say?
Gaudreau, Kadri, Milano.
You missed a few along the way, too, on that one.
Yeah, I know.
Gaudreau, JT Miller, Kadri, Sonny Milano. Yeah. We don't even know if that's going to happen. That might not even happen too, Grump. I don't know where the hell he fits, to be quite frank. We just have too many forwards on the team.
He's number one forward. He'd probably be number one forward for us. He's got wheels. He worked good with Zegras. So maybe that's loose thinking. I don't know. Does he even think anymore? I don't know. That's a question for anyone to ask, honestly. I'm just disappointed in the direction of the team, to be honest with you. It seems like there's no urgency to get better. We don't care. I'm not saying we don't care, but honestly, to think that this team's going to rebound and not win a division, not win a conference, and that's your rebound, I don't know. I just don't think it's kind of fool's gold thinking that's what's going to happen. So
you always throw that shit out there about not winning a conference, that doesn't mean anything to me. Nothing at all. I could care less about winning the division or winning the cup. It doesn't matter at all. The only thing I care about is winning the cup. Who gives a shit if you're winning anything else? Just a cup, Grump.
I know, but we have never won anything with this group. And to think, so what are we going to rebound to not win anything again? So we came from not winning anything last year to not winning anything in the previous, how many years?
You're like speaking in fucking riddles. I feel like
riddles.
Well, and I just don't understand what. We're going to rebound to that point. Okay, we've rebound from not winning a cup to. You're so transfixed and focused on that one little item about a rebound. What I was talking about was JT Miller solidifying and a completely lackluster offseason is what I was trying to talk about, Grumpy. But, it's been submitted in. I guess you don't want to talk about that anymore. And that's fine. I mean, like we've talked, I'll be honest, we've beaten the hell out of that point. We started beating that drum when the offseason began. Feels like we're not going to do anything. And as the offseason continued to go on, we didn't. It's just been solidified, I think, with that extension on Friday. There's no chance, right, that we're going to go ahead and make any of those splashes that we have. JT Miller was linked to us at one point earlier on this year. It would have made sense to maybe that we were still interested in his services as we tried to trade for him at the NHL draft.
Okay, for me, I thought that if we were going to get JT Miller after we didn't get him at the draft, we weren't going to have another shot at him until trade deadline. That's what I thought. I didn't think we were getting before season started. Too many pieces had to move out, and he's not able to do it. No one's willing to deal with him. Whatever the issue is, I thought if we were going to get JT Miller, it would be a trade deadline. Now that's out the window. I wasn't thinking we were getting him to start the season at all. I never thought that.
Okay. It was a possibility, but yeah, you're right. Now at the trade deadline, no chance at all. It's another one of those options who's now off of the board, Grump. It's crazy, right? These talented players, and it's Islander fans, I think, have this mentality to where if a team's up against the cap or close to the cap, oh gosh, guys, well, they can't possibly afford to re-sign back JT Miller. Toronto can't possibly afford to sign back Sandin. Toronto can't possibly afford to get rid of Marlowe's contract. All of these teams cannot financially maneuver to allow themselves cap space to sign back the players that are very valuable in their team. I feel like Islander fans have that thought process, and time and time and time again, if the player wants to sign, in all likelihood, the team will be able to fork up the money. And I think, you said that JT Miller contract was a bad contract, or, it was a long contract. You wonder what he's going to look like later on. I think it's a sweetheart deal. 7 years, $8 million.
He's had one good year. I mean, last year he had 90 something points. I mean, that's a really good year. What was his next highest point total in season? I mean, 60 plus. And I'm not putting him down as a player. I mean, he's a good player. I think he would have fit with Matt Barzal, but I don't want a guy who's just turning 30 on an 8-year contract extension.
7 years.
7 years. Okay.
So he had over a point a game average in the 2019-2020 season, 69 games played, 72 points. 2 years ago, right, when he was 27, and 2020-2021, 53 games played, 46 points, and last year for Vancouver, 80 games played, 99 points. He's a guy that's right around a point a game or a little over a point a game for a point a game performer. Like it or not, those guys get paid. It's that simple.
Okay, but you're talking, so 2 years he's averaged a point a game in 2 years. This past year,
the last 3 years.
Well, okay, but did he do that any other year in his career? No.
He wasn't in the prime of his career yet.
Okay, but the answer is no. He's 30. He's 30 years old.
You keep saying he's 30. He's 29, Grump.
Okay. So he'll be 30.
He's 29 for the majority of this year. Okay. He's 29 for the majority of this year.
You think the prime of a player's career is not 29?
You asked me why he didn't do that before it. Oh, what did he do the 3 years prior? The prime of your career, Grumpy, he was playing when he's 25, 26 years old. He had a point a game. 26, 27, he didn't. 27, 28, a point a game. Now he's, or whatever, he's now, because he's got, let me pop it up here on the screen for you, Grumpy. His years when he's in the prime of his career, he's putting up around a point a game. I don't understand what's so mystifying about that. You're saying, why wasn't he putting up a point a game when he was 24, 23, and 22 years old? Okay. I don't know how many 22 and 23-year-olds put up a point a game on a consistent basis.
Okay.
You could say as of recent, he's really picked play up, and he's found his groove in Vancouver. This is all production he's seen in Vancouver too.
Okay. So when he was with Tampa, he wasn't that great, right?
Look at the role he played in Tampa.
Okay. That means he wasn't good enough to be a top 6 guy because he was a third. He was okay. He was okay for Tampa. I'm not trying to put JT Miller down. I'm just saying Johnny Gaudreau was $9 million a year, and he's infinitely better than JT Miller. There is no comparison.
Gaudreau also had an extra. Gaudreau, I'll tell you one thing. Goudreau had the extra $1 million thrown on there, and I think Goudreau was a good deal for Columbus. I don't get where the disagreement is here. I think the JT Miller sign was a good sign for Vancouver. They're able to re-sign back top talent. The point is, too, with this entire conversation, we always feel like as Islander fans, anytime a team gets in a situation where they look like they may be strapped for cash or they may be strapped and up against the salary cap ceiling, oh, they can't possibly find a way to re-sign back a talented player. Gotcha, trade him over here. That's a great trade target for us. And over and over and over again, Grumpy, they always manage to re-sign back those players that, oh, they're never going to be able to find a cap space to sign back. That's my point of this entire conversation, too. He's a talented player. I thought that we got a good deal. I thought he took a little bit of hometown discount. You don't, whatever, that's fine. But we always feel like we're going to get one of these guys in a trade because, oh, the team doesn't have a lot of cap space. We'll trade him to the Islanders. And over, they always sign back.
Here's the issue. And Islander fans feel like that because the cartel media, Lou Lamoriello, and all the other gadflies just continue to say, we don't have money. We can't do anything. No, you just have to be creative. And the Islanders aren't creative. But that's the narrative that's being foisted upon the Islander fan base. We have $12 million in salary cap space, and we don't have any money. Really? How much money do we have now? You signed all your restricted free agents, and you have money left over. That's why Islander fans think, oh my gosh, how can these people get them signed? Because they have creative general managers. People are not afraid to, hey, let's take from Peter to pay Paul. They're not afraid to do that. They're not afraid to move players off of the team. They don't think their teams are the greatest if they're not winning Stanley Cups. But that's the way the Islanders think. That's the way Lou Lamoriello thinks. We need a modern thinking general manager with this team. That's just bottom line. Because then maybe the narrative changes. Maybe, hey, we're going to make things happen. Don't go in with a ready-made excuse. We had $12 million in salary cap space, and we were broke. We couldn't do anything. That's wrong.
Yeah. It's not. It is. And here's the other thing I'll note about it that I want to piggyback off of a point that you had mentioned, Grumpy. When we're talking about Johnny Gaudreau, and you had made this a little while ago, I know Johnny Gaudreau only signed for the $9 million, but he was also offered, what was he offered, 10.5 or 11 with that extra year in Calgary? So, like, I think that Johnny Gaudreau sign is a sweetheart. That was a sweetheart deal for Columbus. I think that those guys are talented players. As we're going to start to see the cap increase, I just think it's a good deal. I think it's a good deal. I think that, the Gaudreau deal, if we're ranking who got a better deal, yeah, I'm sure Columbus got a better deal than Vancouver on JT Miller. But I still think Vancouver's able to lock up a guy who's really performed over the last 3 years for them and has kind of found their niche. They've got a lot of young players and prospects in the system too. So for them, right? I know I say this all the time, but Vancouver just needs to find the ability to put together the right pieces. And Bruce Boudreau did a good job as coach for them. But again, this is not a Vancouver podcast, so we're not going to go too in depth on them. I did have one more housekeeping item I wanted to mention. Remember, we have our fantasy football draft that is going to be Tuesday at either 8 or 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have not finalized the exact time. I'm thinking it may be 8:30, but again, it's still up in the air. But it's going to be around that time period, either 8 or 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Right now, we've got 11 people signed up for this league. So if you were interested, please shoot me an email by tonight. I'm starting to create the league tonight, starting to send out invitations tonight so we can go ahead and get everybody accepted to where we're good for the draft on Tuesday. So again, you could see it. I've got it pulled up here on screen. The email address is islandersfansunited@gmail.com.
Yeah.
I didn't know Grumpy had anything to say. I didn't know if he had any smack talk to talk about, Grumpy.
Nope.
Okay.
No smack talk till I know who I'm going to beat.
I know we are also thinking about doing this. It should be fun. We're going to do a live stream during the draft, Grumpy and I, so we could just like shit talk and have a good time. What are you doing that face for? I think it would be fun. It was suggested by Drew a while ago, and I think that's kind of fun.
Okay.
What?
I'm not getting paid for that one, am I?
What do you mean you're not getting paid for that one? I don't
Another
understand.
freebie that I'm giving you?
What do you mean freebie?
Nothing. I'm just playing.
Shit. Grumpy, they're all free.
I know.
They're all freebies. Even when DraftKings involved, they're all freebies for the most part. But I think that'll be fun. So there'll be some people I'm sure go way off the board and everything like that. But I'm going to leave this up for a little bit more time. I wanted to talk a little bit, Grumpy, about Corey Proman's top 100 players under the age of 23.
Yes.
Did you happen to take a deep dive into that? We talked briefly about it on Wednesday, but we introduced a topic so late to where we couldn't give it the time it deserved. But did you have a chance to look at that, Grumpy?
Yes, I did.
To look at the information. Were there any Islanders or any individuals in general that kind of threw you for a loop regarding, or threw you for a little bit of a curveball as to where they were?
Here's the thing. Of course, as an Islander fan, I have a soft spot in my heart for Noah Dobson.
Correct.
I think he's one of the better young defensemen in the league. And one thing I noticed about this list, the younger you are, the more highly rated you are.
Yeah, I couldn't understand. You've got guys who on this list are 18, so just drafted in this year's NHL draft, that are above Noah Dobson already. I'm like, what? So yes, you do see a lot of those on this list.
Yeah, and there were a number of defensemen ahead of him, like Moritz Seider was like number 2. He's 21. Okay, he had one good year, and I'm not saying he's not good.
He's fantastic.
He didn't put up numbers close to Dobson's. He was number 2 on the overall list, right? Then you got Quinn Hughes, who, he's okay, but he's small, and he's not really good defensively.
Mo Seider put up 50 points, by the way.
Okay.
So Noah Dobson had what, like 53? Mo Seider had 50. So
not as much.
They're very close. You said that nowhere close, but they're very close on that. I'm sorry. Continue. I didn't mean to interrupt.
But they're the same age, 21 and 22, right? Then you got Quinn Hughes, who was 22. He was number 4 on the list. And I'm just going to run down the defensemen. You got Rasmus Dahlin, who I think has been kind of underwhelming with Buffalo.
I was about to say, I think for Buffalo, he's not been what they originally had thought he would be or would grow into.
Right. And, here's the thing about Proman. There's certain guys he likes.
Correct.
And certain guys he doesn't. And even when you see the results, he still kind of doesn't like them.
It's the reason why anytime he posts about certain, hey, this is where your prospect pool is rated, that this guy doesn't know shit. Not at all regarding prospects. I cannot tell you how often he's just freaking wide left and wide right. Don't get me. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I like his assessment.
I know you do.
Particularly of entry level players, but to me, you kind of once they're in the league or played for a while, you kind of have to let that go. Once you see them develop, like let
me ask you. You said I want to ask one quick question about a statement you made. Do you like his assessment of entry level players solely because there's not many people who rate and talk about entry level players, and he's one of the only few that do? Is that why you like it? Because there's so scarce information out there?
I like the fact that he actually goes to see the guys play. That means something to me.
So you like that this guy travels to watch these guys play and writes?
Yeah, and he's fairly accurate on what he's saying.
Wow.
He's not wildly off.
Okay.
But the whole thing is once they get to playing in, that's what he does though. He goes to the junior tournaments, the Ontario hockey. That's what he does. That's what he watches. Once these guys are out of that, he doesn't see them any longer. So, he's talking about Dahlin, and I just want to just read this. Then I'm going to read the Dobson, and you tell me why there's a disparity. He had Rasmus Dahlin number 7 on his list of 23 and under players, which I thought was high. And he had Dobson rated number 31. So he talks about Dahlin. He says everyone's eyes are starting to become wide open of what he is and isn't. He's an offensive dynamo. I don't think he's that great offensively. There are a few defensemen with his frame who can handle the puck like him and make the kind of unique offensive plays he can. Well, you know something? Noah Dobson does the same thing. His brain operates at a high level of creativity and vision. You mean like Dobson? Okay. He's much more confident using his attack skill He didn't put up a great number of points on a team that scored quite a few goals. He's a good skater with good reach, but he's not a strong defender due to a lack of physicality and doesn't look like a player you'll be projecting to take tough minutes.
How the hell can you have a defenseman when you contradict yourself so blatantly by saying, as a top end, a top 10 guy, as a top 10 player under the age of 23 years old, he lacks the physicality and doesn't look like a player that you're projecting to play the tough minutes? How can you rate him as somebody who's top 10 in your freaking review of players under 23 if a defenseman cannot play tough minutes?
He's not like he's 18 or 19, he's 22. Okay. And he says, even with that in mind, he looks like a long-time impactful NHL defenseman who will often be atop the scoring leaders for his position. Well, he hasn't done that yet. But do you want to know who has? Noah Dobson. And I'm going to just real quickly read you Noah Dobson and it just kind of burned me because I'm like, where the hell is Dobson on those? Number 31. Had a breakout season, scoring 50 points and playing a major role for the Islanders' blue line. Absolutely. He's a big mobile right shot who can generate a lot of controlled exits and entries due to his mobility and passing. His offense isn't always the flashiest type, but he makes a lot of plays and has a hard shot. Okay, that's what you want from a defenseman. He doesn't view Dobson as overly physical. I think he's tremendously improved in the physicality area, and he said all offseason been working about getting more stronger and more physical. That's exactly what you want from Noah Dobson. But his reach and his feet, he'll be good defensively in the league, even if he doesn't take tough minutes yet. Darlene, he doesn't think he's going to play tough minutes at all. He thinks Dobson
doesn't even project the possibility of playing tough minutes. Dobson may not play tough minutes yet, but he will be able to. He'll be a strong defenseman, even if he can't do that. I'm just like, okay, so better defenseman. He's got offensive ability. And again, another one of these people who underplayed Dobson's offensive performance last year, just as acting if it's like, oh, because he didn't do it from the start of the year and he wasn't all in the headlines that, no, okay, even though he quietly put up 50 points, but whatever, he quietly put up 50 points.
I think in the last 48 games, Noah Dobson had like 38 points, something like that.
It's just luck.
And he says he looks to be on track to be a long-term, top-fair defenseman with a chance to be a star. And honestly, this is a rave from him comparing to how he's rated Dobson in the past. This is an absolute rave for him. I don't understand why he's 31st and Darlene is 7th. But that's not even the one that I even question most.
Take a breath, and I'll talk about this one too, because you had mentioned that for a second, Grump. Evan Bouchard, who plays on a very highly powered Edmonton Oilers team, is rated 19th on the list. This is the reason we're going so far in depth on this, is just when you see stuff thrown out there by Corey Proman, do not always take everything he says, as it's been hammered in granite and marble. Take it with a grain of salt, because there are going to be a few Islander players more on this list that we're going to talk about too. So, we really have to evaluate this. So again, not trying to destroy the credibility of Corey Proman. He's good in his own right, but I don't know. Some of the items he says contradicts himself, and some of these ratings are just odd. But I'll pop up Evan Bouchard's information on the board so you can read about that too, bro.
And I think, like I said, I think that he's good with the younger players, the guys who are still in junior. I think his Proman's assessment of them is I think it's really close to spot on in most instances. It's when the guys get out of playing in the juniors where he doesn't see them any longer that I think I scratch my head with some of the things he says.
Yeah, they said Bouchard emerged this season as an important part of the Oilers lineup, scoring over 40 points in the NHL. He's a super smart puck mover.
Look at who he played with. You know what? It's easy to put up 40 points when you're playing with Draisaitl and McDavid. I mean, it's real easy to put up those kind of points. 52 points for Dobson with an offensively inept team. To me, that speaks volumes about Dobson. What would Dobson have put up if he was in Edmonton? 75 points? 80?
Yeah. So they also, I don't disagree. You know, you play on a team that puts the puck in the net more often, and you're going to be on the ice more often, helping through transition. You know, in all likelihood, you're going to have higher assist numbers and possibly higher goal numbers. He's a super smart puck mover who hit a lot of seams in the offensive zone. He has great poise at both ends to hold the puck in the wait out lanes and to make the right play. So again, good with those outlet passes, good with those breakup. And Evan Bouchard does do that. He's fantastic in that area. Evan Bouchard also has a hard shot that allows him or that lets him be a versatile player on the power play. And Bouchard is more offensive title or more has more offense title due to his so-so mobility. Tilted, I'm sorry. Tilted due to his so-so mobility. He had some stretches of iffy defensive play this season, but also had a regular power or penalty kill duty. And with his size and brain, I don't think it's going to be a big issue. He projects to be a top pair defenseman who plays on a power play in a major way and has a chance to be a star. Holy shit. You're speaking for a guy who has so mobility. That's like, and again, like this is the reason I'm pointing that point out more than anything else. If you cannot skate in the league, you will never reach a star level status. It's that simple. You have to be able to skate in order to be successful in today's current NHL. You are overrating a guy like Evan Bouchard who struggles skating. There's another guy that is maybe going to be that maybe has some sort of ties with the Islanders who is less than a so-so skater that I think he wildly overrates as well.
A guy who has superior mobility, right? That he raves about Noah Dobson's feet. He's a big mobile, there it is, and right shot who can generate a lot of controlled exits and entries due to his mobility and passing.
Okay, yeah. I was more drawing to William DeFore, Grumpy. Again, I'm trying to draw how this compares to our players.
Okay,
I get it, right? He overrated Bouchard. I'm just saying, right? He's done this, and he did this throughout this article. And because people said, oh, fantastic. William DeFore is rated much higher than what we had expected. Rated higher than Atu Ratu. Oh, baby, William DeFore, his great year in the queue. I expect him to be a dynamite. We're expecting him to be a fantastic AHLer and to make it into the NHL. But the reason I'm bringing up, he's got guys with so-so mobility cracking his top 20 list. Mobility is so crucial and important. And it looks like throughout Corey Proman's assessment of all of these players that struggle with movement, it doesn't seem to bother Corey Proman's assessment of them that much. Well, you know, he's an okay skater, but, you know, he does a lot of other things well. Skating is so pertinent. I think he undervalues your lack of skating or ineptitude with skating and how that could affect your projectability and success in the NHL. That's why I'm bringing up the Evan Bouchard. That's why I wanted to talk about the Evan Bouchard point too, Grump.
Okay. I just had a problem with his putting 10 under 23 defensemen higher than Noah Dobson. I'm sorry. I just don't see it. And you look at, like, he puts all the guys who are in like this year's draft class higher than Noah Dobson. They never even played a professional hockey yet. I mean, I just don't like it. And, you know, some guys, you know, okay, well, they had a really tough season. You know, he's 20 years old. Well, no, I'm sorry. This guy's done it at the NHL level. I mean, this was his breakout year, and you have him 31st. I just had a hard time having 10 defensemen rated higher than him, particularly with his skating ability and his vision. I just had a problem with that.
Grump, what's the score of that Notre Dame game, Grump?
I have no idea.
Man, I'm trying to see here. I'll pull it up. But yeah, let's talk about the other Islanders that are on this list here, Grump. We've got William DeFore. Now, I'll pop this up on screen too. I'm just getting to it. William DeFore is 77th on the list.
There are other Islanders higher than that. I don't know if you want to touch on them as well or not.
Are there?
Yeah, absolutely.
No, William DeFore he's the next highest Islander at 77.
Okay,
that's incorrect, Grump. I'll pull it up. Don't worry. William DeFore 77, Grump. DeFore had a big season named QMJHL MVP and MVP of the Memorial Cup. His offensive talents are obvious, and DeFore is big, highly skilled winger who can make a lot happen inside the offensive zone. On the power play, he's dangerous because he's a high-end shot and can beat goalies consistently from the dot. That's true. We talked about that. Something he does a great job of, has a great release, William DeFore. He does a great job of picking those spots, and a quick release too. Hard shot, William DeFore, Grump.
Yeah. I mean, and I think he's accurate in his assessment of William DeFore. I really do. Why? Because he's seen him play numerous times this year. So I don't have a problem with his assessment. And he's right. He has a tremendous shot. We've seen him play, I don't know what, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. And yes, he has good vision. He can shoot the puck. He's a playmaker. The only thing he can't do is skate.
Well, that's what he says here, too. His ability to make plays on the main advantage is also an attribute. His skating is just okay, lacking NHL speed. How can you have somebody who lacks NHL caliber speed anywhere on this list?
Well, there's a lot of guys in the NHL who can't skate. We got a whole bunch of them on our team.
He's well below an NHL average.
Because everything else, he's
shot. He's big. He's not very physical for as big as he is.
No.
Right. If you're really big and you can't skate, you have to be overwhelmingly talented in other areas. Anders Lee's an average skater. Anders Lee's a better skater than I think William DeFore can project to be. Everybody always says, "Oh, skating's the easiest thing you can improve upon." No, they just work hard and they'll be a better skater. Just take power skating lessons. Just take figure skating lessons. You'll be there. Power skate all summer long. That's going to really help out. You can improve skating to a certain extent, but there's a time period and a level to where if you don't have good feet, you'll never be able to move to the same level and as quick as other players. It's just that simple.
That skating is one thing you can work on without a doubt. And, but the biggest knock per se is the last sentence. His effort over his junior career has never been a selling point either.
Yikes.
Although he was better in that regard this season, he projects as a second line winger.
How?
Well, I thought when I saw him play this year, I said, okay, he's a glider, right? He floats a little bit too much, but it didn't seem like he wasn't showing effort. Okay. I just think he's just not a great skater.
They're talking about effort away from the puck is we're talking about the effort. That's more away from the puck stuff.
But I saw some of that in the games I saw. He's not a chase down forward. No, that's not what he is, but he was involved going back the other way. That's never going to be a strength of his game. He needs to improve his skating. That's number one. He needs to improve his skating. If he improves his skating, he can play for the Islanders moving forward. He absolutely can. He just needs to improve his skating. And he's going to have time, right? That's what he should be working on. And I think he's 20, isn't he? 20 years old?
He's 20.
Yeah. So, he's a little bit behind the curve, but that's the one thing they need to work with him. They should have been working with it all summer. Improve your skating, improve your skating, improve your skating. We've seen what you can do with the puck. We've seen your shot, which is phenomenal, by the way. We've seen your vision as a winger, even going behind the net, setting people up. He has all the offensive tools needed to become a really good forward in this league. Got to be a better skater.
Well, the issue, again, I've got, he's the next highest rated Islander. I think 77 is a bit high for him. We don't have a strong prospect pool, as I've mentioned before. But the fact that he's the second best Islander under 23, I don't know. Just don't take too much credence into what this list has, because you're right. Players that just get drafted for whatever reason have a little bit of a higher boost. I don't know. Yeah. I couldn't tell you why. Oliver Wahlstrom, 85. Well, Oliver Wahlstrom, lower rating than William DeFore.
Where to me, okay, Oliver Wahlstrom right now is a better. He's trying to project, right? It's about projection. That's why the younger guys are rated higher, because the older guys, they don't project as high, like Oliver Wahlstrom at 22. That's why he does it. That's why he does it.
Talking about Oliver Wahlstrom. Wahlstrom up and down last season. Again, for the Islanders in his second NHL campaign, there's no doubting his offensive skill or his offensive talents. He's great individual skill, can make tough plays to his teammates, and his shot is a weapon from range. Wahlstrom can struggle to drive play by himself, though, due to an average foot speed and in and out compete. I see long-term second-line winger, even with those warts, due to those offensive talents. Now, I think the compete level a little bit at times, that wasn't great last year away from the puck, and he struggled at moments. He was not a good skater. It's that simple. But I think, he's going to be a more talented player than William Dufour.
Okay, but here's the thing, right? Look at the role he was used in. Third liner. That's not his skill set. A chase down playing a defense guy, that's not what his talent level is. I'm sorry, it's not.
Romanoff then at number 106 for the Islanders there. Romanoff was up and down with the Canadians, but he was strong at the end of the season and was traded at the draft for the Islanders. He's a strong defender due to his great mobility and physicality. He can close gaps at a high level and is able to kill a lot of plays. I don't think there's ever going to be much offense out of him. He can skate pucks up, and he makes a good first pass, so he should be competent enough to play real minutes. He projects to be a second pairing defenseman.
That's why I think he's going to be a good fit with Noah Dobson.
Wow, not too glowing of a review from Corey Proman for the guy we just gave up a 13th overall pick for.
He's a defensive defenseman with really good skating skills. That's okay. At the end of the day, he and Noah Dobson are going to be your number one pair.
I did like this. Aatu Ratu, below average skater, and average at everything else. Aatu Ratu, I'd argue, is our most valuable.
Above average shot. He had an above average shot.
No, he didn't. Oh, I'm sorry. Above average shot and below average in NHL compete level. So below average in compete and below average in skating.
Now, this is a guy that he probably hasn't seen actually play a whole lot.
Correct.
And
he says Ratu started off the season off as he did during his draft year, but after a move from Karpat to Jokerit, it lit a spark in his game, scoring nearly a point a game in Liga following the move. Ratu has great hands and vision with the puck, showing that he can make a lot of plays inside the offensive zone. The best Ratu doesn't show up every night. Particularly, sometimes his game can lack pace, but he was more consistent in the second half of the season, and I see him as a third liner in the NHL.
A third line center in the NHL. If he's a third line center,
William Dufour ain't making the team. Simple as that.
Like I said, now, if you remember, and I saw him play 2 games, one of them, he sat. I saw him play the first period, then he wound up sitting till the end of the game. And I was wondering why. Why was he sitting? And maybe the coaches weren't happy with his compete level on the defensive side of the puck. He showed a lot offensively. Maybe they weren't happy with certain things. When you see a player sitting, I thought maybe he was injured, TJ. I don't know if you remember me mentioning that to you.
I do remember you saying that to me.
I didn't remember why I didn't understand why he didn't play the whole game. And then he did wind up playing the second game, the full game. So I thought maybe he had some little injury that he came back from. Maybe it was a compete issue. I don't know. But you could see that the kid has talent. If he's a third line center, I think that the other guys are rated a little bit too high. I think Dufour is probably rated a little bit too high. Dufour can shoot the puck. This kid can shoot the puck too.
We watched him play, and I watched him play in a few of those AHL playoff games in the postseason. I wound up watching a few of those. He looked really talented. I don't get that he can't skate. He's already an average skater at this point. I wouldn't call him below average. He's an average skater. He's never going to be a guy that has blazing speed. He's a guy with good hands. He's a guy with good vision. He's a guy who could go ahead and distribute the puck well, and he's got a good shot. I'm not going to be one of those guys who's posting up every goal. Oh my God, Aatu Ratu just scored a fantastic goal against the Latvia goaltender who was way out of position. But look at this angle he scored from. No, it's not necessarily that. You can't be infatuated with him. I think he's our best prospect, though. And again, for those of you who looked at that Proman article and said, "Oh man, William DeFore, best prospect we've got," pump the brakes a bit. That's all I'm going to say is pump the brakes a bit. I think what Atu Ratu did this year is miles more impressive than what William DeFore did. And I think projectability to the NHL is much more in a guy like Atu Ratu's favor than it is William DeFore.
I like what Ratu did just because he came to a totally different, smaller ice surface.
Yep.
And didn't miss a beat when he played in the playoffs. Usually it takes people a while to adjust to the smaller ice surface. That didn't seem to be the case with him. I mean, I was impressed with what I saw from him. For a guy coming in and only played there a month, I'm like, okay, this kid fits in already at 19 years old. He was obviously one of the most talented forward that I saw. He and Kyle McLean were the two guys who stood out in the forward group to me.
Those 6 postseason games had a goal and 3 assists, 4 points over those 6 games. You wound up only playing 8 games in the A, went up with 4 points. Playing on a brand new ice surface, brand new line mates, brand new system, brand new team. I'm not expecting a guy to come in there and continue on that point of game tear. So I mean, he played in that Finnish Elite League and performed well.
And spending some time in the A, like all season next year, I think it'll be good for him. Yeah. Put him on the first line. Have him playing, power play, penalty kill, everything. That's what the A should be about. Developing young players. Not the Steve Berniers or the other guys over 30 that they have who are playing first line minutes. Why? They're never going to make the big team. Develop your talent. Put them in every circumstance, every situation, so you see what they can do when they go up to the big leagues. That's what you should. You shouldn't have to worry about, well, what can he do? Can he do this in the NHL? Well, how do you know, right? He should be playing every situation in the AHL, every single situation.
Let me ask you this before we get to our ad read. Was there anything else you saw in that article or anything else you saw? Right, because we're in the dog days of summer. We still want to be able to provide Islander content. So I know maybe talking prospects doesn't titillate your fancy for some listeners, but we do want to make sure we're able to bring some Islanders action every single show, twice a week. I know this next Wednesday, I think, Grumpy, I'm going to confirm it. I think Phil's Facts is going to be on this upcoming Wednesday.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, your favorite Grump.
Phil is so boring. Are we going to have to listen to how the Islanders are going to win the Stanley Cup by losing 7 or 8 more players? Is that what he's going to tell us next?
Oh, man.
For me, I just wanted to know where Simon Holmstrom was on this list. Where's he? I didn't see him on the list.
He didn't make the top 125 or however many were on this list. I mean, 150. I think it was 150. Oh, it was 170. I knew it was an odd number, 170 players. No Simon Holm. A top 170 players. And to his defense, how the hell can you rate 170 players with accuracy? It's tough. It's very, very tough to do that. Oh, you'll be interested to hear this too. A guy, Joakim Kimmel, Grumpy, do you remember him? He was available at our draft pick.
Yep.
This last time. He's rated ahead of he's rated ahead of Alexander Romanov. So, there's a lot of players that were available at that selection that were rated ahead of Romanov.
Okay.
Just kind of chuckle. I know. I just chuckling at how the actual ratings are just bogus and nuts in that article.
Yeah, I'm just going to say that I'm going to give the nod to the guy who's played in the NHL over a kid who's just been drafted.
Again, no issue with that, but he's got him rated 61 there for Joakim Kimmel. I'm just saying, I'm just speaking to, if you're a fan of the Islanders and you read that article and said, oh, wow, man, these players right here, William DeFore, he's going to be better than a guy like Romanov. He'll be better than a guy like Oliver Wahlstrom. Don't go in with that expectation. That's what I'm trying to drive home with this right here. Don't have wrong expectations that he's going to come in and light the world on fire. He's going to be better than Atu Ratu. Again, don't go in with the expectations with that because you'll be wildly disappointed, I feel like. I'm not saying that William DeFore can't go ahead and iron himself out a successful NHL career. That's not what I'm saying. Just don't go in with the expectation that this is going to be a second-line winger who's going to be putting up 50 to 60 points a season. You're going to be disappointed if that's your expectation for him.
And just one, I don't know if you wanted to talk about where he had the Islanders rank in the pipeline rankings for 2022.
Was that in the same article?
No, it was a separate article. But he had the Islanders ranked 27th, same as last year. The thing that I don't like about the way he does it, he's just looking at the 23 and unders, right? So in other words, Dobson is in there and Wallstrom is in there. Romanoff is in there. These are all guys who already play in the league. To me, they're not guys in the pipeline anymore. So, I mean, if you look at just our guys in the pipeline, our first guy would be DeFore. He's our top-rated prospect. Number 2 would be Ratu. Then number 3, and here's what he says, has a chance to play. The top 5, he says, he put the player rankings, top 5. Then
you're bouncing all over the place. I don't have it pulled up right now, but you're not really doing a good job. I'm trying to envision it. It's tough for people. It's tough for me listening. I know it's tough for other people listening.
Okay.
So we're rated 27th, grumpy old man, on this list. Now, tell me a little bit more about it. You said you went through. It doesn't include NHLers that are currently in the league.
It does. It does include NHLers. I'm taking them out because for me, that's not in the pipeline. They're already playing. So they're not in the pipeline. They've already come out of the end of the pipe, shall we say.
Okay, I've got it. So we're rated too high, in your opinion.
Well, no, they shouldn't be in the pipeline because they're already NHLers.
Yeah, they're already NHLers. So a lot of those guys that are on that list are counting towards our pipeline. In reality, they shouldn't. So you think we should be a lower rated team than we currently are?
Probably yes, because
that's what I'm trying to get it still pulled up, and again, I'm just trying to listen and hear it without having to visual.
So 3 of our top 5 fit that category, right? DeFore and Ratu do not. Then they say guys who have a chance to play: Quinn Finley, the left wing who they drafted this year. Then Isaiah George, he would have, which I would consider the number 4 prospect overall. Then Simon Holmstrom at 21. And his assessment of Holmstrom is Holmstrom took steps forward this season, his 3rd in the AHL. He has NHL skill, vision, and finishing ability, but his skating is just okay. And I wonder if he'll be able to make plays at an NHL pace. So he doesn't think very highly of Wallstrom. I certainly don't.
No. Holmstrom. You said Wallstrom again. Holmstrom.
I'm sorry. Holmstrom.
You call him Simon Wallstrom.
I'm sorry.
On an all-the-time basis. But yeah, Simon Holmstrom. We know who you're talking about.
Then Ruslan Ichikov was number 6.
Okay. Are you just going to go down a list and read that?
There's only 2 more guys. Eetu Leokis and Kallio Delius.
Okay, cool. I don't really care too much about the guys who are 18 years old.
Okay.
I'm just want to talk broad items, right? Okay. Let's talk about the guy Simon Holmstrom, a guy who may be a little close, not infatuated with his play. Doesn't look like he can do it at the NHL level. We've seen him miss on a lot of those takes he's had, but that's not a guy we have high expectations for. I really do think he's a guy who's middle 6 at best, a guy like Holmstrom. Ideal world, probably a 3rd-line guy.
Best case scenario for best case is 3rd liner. Best case.
Let's just have best case.
I don't think he's going to make it. They might force him in the lineup. He's a Michael Del Cole. So not good enough. With the talent that was around at that period of time.
No. Again, you're never going to convince us that was a good selection. Never, ever, ever. Let me refresh, Grumpy. Let me get to our ad read today. We've got a different ad to read. Holy shit, boys. I might struggle with this.
It should take a while.
I don't know. Give me a sec. We've got an ad to read from DraftKings. The wait is almost over. The new football season is about to begin. Get ready for the NHL or the NFL Week 1 action with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. To celebrate the return of football, DraftKings is giving new customers a can't-miss offer. Bet just $5 on any football game and get $200 in free bets instantly. Want more action for opening night? Everyone can experience the thrill of DraftKings early win promotion. Get up 7, you win. Bet on any team of your choice, and if the team leads by 7 points at any point during the game, you get paid instantly, even if your team loses. That is such a crazy concept. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable, and best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use the promo code THPN to get $200 in free bets instantly when you place a $5 bet on any football game. That's promo code again, THPN, only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See the show notes and the description for additional details, Grumpy.
Woo. Not bad for a first-time read, TJ.
I'm just thrown. As I'm reading this, I'm thrown off. So all your team has to do is lead by 7 points. That's crazy.
Pretty
And
crazy.
you win. I don't know. That is an odd one. I don't gamble though, so maybe that's consistent. Maybe that's how they all are. I don't know. I'm brand new and I don't do any I don't do any gambling. But I probably wouldn't be good at it either. But yes. So anyway, Grumpy, let's start diving into some of these comments here. Ooh, old man, go right ahead. It's a 2-minute videos of my fantasy draft. We'll look at that afterwards, Drew. So now we're going to have all your inside info. We'll know who Drew's looking to go ahead and select.
That's good. I like to know what other people are thinking before the draft.
Oh, he's got his first draft tonight. Wish him luck. Good luck, Drew.
Good luck.
Good luck. John Smith said, thumbs a twiddling. It is. It's time to twiddle thumbs right about now.
Just to let you know, TJ called me up and I said, I had people over the house. I'm like, yep, TJ, late as usual. And he's like, I sent you an email. He called, I sent you an email. I said, no, you didn't. He said, yes, I did. I'm like, no, you didn't.
How do I say that, Grumpy? Is that an accurate?
That is exactly very nasty. Very nasty. And then I'm going to tell you what he said in the private chat also, just to show you how mean and nasty he is to me. So I said, no, you didn't send it. He said, oh, something must have happened. Looks like it didn't send.
I said, I'm sorry. I said I didn't send.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Okay.
I said, you know what I said, Grumpy? I said, Grumpy, I'm sorry it didn't send. I'll send that to you immediately. Thank you so much for your undying and unwavering support of our endeavor of creating the best Islanders podcast that's ever surfaced the airwaves, Grumpy. I really do appreciate you. And Grumpy responded back in a very mean tone to me. What I think happened.
I want to read the private chat. It's only one-way conversation. TJ knows what's coming. Fucking TV off, dude.
Dude.
The TV was off. It was already off.
There's nothing that pisses me off more.
Everything
you
pisses
and I are having.
off.
There's nothing that pisses me off more than when you and I are having a conversation trying to talk Islanders hockey, and I see your eyes diverting away because you're watching.
First of
TV.
all, I told you I don't watch the TV. I told you that.
I'm having to deal on a trust basis.
You realize I don't sit in a cave all by myself. There are people who live in this house.
Grumpy, are there? Okay, I know the warden. The warden goes to sleep at the crack of dawn, Grump, or she goes to sleep as the sun sets. Grump, she goes to sleep when your podcast starts. When the podcast starts,
she's still wandering around.
Bullshit. The warden's not wandering around. Stop.
Yes, she is.
Stop.
We had a guest over this evening, so his thing. TV wasn't on. The TV was on. She was sitting there watching the TV.
So hold on.
I know you should be back. No.
TV's on now. Thank you very much.
This was before. This was after you sent that nasty little chat. First of all, is that any way that son talks to his father? Fucking TV off, dude.
Here's the thing, because I do this all the time, and I always just say, turn the TV off, turn the TV off, turn the TV off. And you always ignore those chats, Grump. And I'll tell you, TV off, TV off. And now I just get to the point where I'm just effing TV off. When I see us getting prepped as I'm going ahead and making sure it gets out to the airwaves near it needs to go, and I see Grumpy, I see him like this, staring his ass over at the TV. I know your TV's on, Grump.
First of all,
I know because I'm looking at you. I see your box down there when we're doing the intro. I see your box, and you're like this, staring at the TV. So I know the TV's on. I'm like, please, let's not watch Notre Dame and Ohio State. Record it and get to it later, Grumpy. We want to provide a good show for the people.
The TV was not on. It's still not on. Just nasty.
Said it was
very nasty.
You said it was
You're just very nasty. I don't talk nasty to you like that.
Oh, look at you, so calm, cool, and collected, Grumpy.
Because I'm a nice guy. I'm not like you.
You're a nice guy. Okay.
A nasty, filthy pig, which is what you are.
I don't ever. When I'm on a show with you, Grumpy, you have my undivided attention. That's how important you are, Grumpy. To me in the show, you have my undivided attention. I balance through everything, and Grumpy, I'm looking at you, and I'm looking at that beautiful, smiling, happy face, happy Islander face all the time, Grumpy. That's how important you are, Grumpy. The
Is
show.
it time for you to go to the bathroom?
Look at you. Maybe Grumpy. I've already taken care of that. I catheterized myself because of the love for this show today. I wanted to make sure there was no interruptions, Grumpy.
Okay, let's get to the comments, please.
Uh-huh.
I just want people to know how nasty you are to me. That's all. They know. They
oh,
know.
that's
You
what
put up this.
they
You
know.
put up
They
this
know.
calm facade, and you know how TJ's. You know how he's laughing. You know how he's lying. He's laughing. When you see that stupid smile on his face after I say something's going to come up, that's when he starts smiling.
I don't like you watching TV.
Let me read it to you again.
Our podcast.
Let me read it to you again. Fucking TV off, dude.
I still laugh at that.
He's so proud of himself.
There's no malice behind that. Just turn the fucking TV off, huh? What's so freaking wrong with that? TV off, Grump.
Comments. Let's go.
Yeah, Now you want to go to the comments because I don't even know what the new comments look like, Grumpy, because I'm ready to. I've got a whole bunch queued up, but Grumpy, I'm gonna get after your ass. Scott L says, "Hey guys, what's up, Scott? I have noticed, Grumpy, since I don't know, maybe like the last 10 minutes, you've been very attentive. Is it because it's near halftime? Don't you worry." Emmanuel R said, Emmanuel R said, "Good evening, Emmanuel. I saw your messages. So I've been getting a lot of messages. I'm sorry, guys. I have not been doing a good job of responding to those. I'm going to respond to all of them tonight. I have a whole bunch there. Facebook, Twitter, a whole bunch of messages. Sorry, I'm way behind. I'll get to looking at those tonight. I know Emmanuel has sent me a message on Facebook. I need to read it. He says, "Good evening, gents. What would you prefer? The Islanders sitting on the top of the division and trading a first for a playoff run, or being out of it by Thanksgiving and cleaning house from top to bottom?"
Go ahead.
That's a loaded question for Grumpy. Here's the thing. I'd like for us to sit at the top of the division and then to trade additional assets, trade a first-round pick to make a legitimate run. If we're sitting at the top of the division, that means a few things. Wallstrom has played well. Matt Barzal has played well. We've had good defensive play and good goaltending play. And those guys who had stepped back, a little bit of a step backwards, those older players, they've picked up their pace. So if by trade deadline, we're sitting first in the division, I think our division is, pretty weak. I think, the Hurricanes are the top dog by a country mile, and all the other teams are kind of not at the same level. But I would pick top of the division, and we're trading for an additional asset for a playoff push.
You want to know what else would have happened?
What, Grumpy?
The rest of the NHL would have disbanded if we're at the top of our division.
Okay, play what he asked out, right? What would you, seriously, in all honesty, right? Would you rather be first in the division come the day of the trade deadline and we're trading away a first-round pick for a playoff run, or would you rather us be out of the hunt by Thanksgiving and clean house top to bottom?
I'd rather be out of it by Thanksgiving and cleaning house.
Holy shit. Holy shit. You heard it here. Grumpy, you would rather take a full-on rebuild now instead of an additional shot at winning a cup. What? Grumpy,
you just said it yourself. Our division sucks. So that means we're not winning a cup.
No, the Hurricanes are a really good team. The Hurricanes aren't bad. I do think we have a lot of faux contenders in our. I don't think Washington's great. I don't think Pittsburgh's great.
They were both 20 points better than us last season.
In this scenario he gave us, we're top of the division. I'm just going over the talent in our division. I think the Carolina Hurricanes are legit. I think the Rangers
relegated. Maybe we're relegated to the AHL. That's the only way we're going to be at the top of our division.
He asked a question. Emmanuel, I respected enough to make sure I answered it. Grumpy didn't want to. I'm sorry, Emmanuel. Maybe next comment we get, Grumpy is going to actually answer. Maybe Grumpy can answer it for us in reality. Maybe Grumpy won't go ahead and treat your comment so poorly.
Fucking TV off, dude.
Yeah, you know what Grumpy said on this comment? He said, "Fucking comment off the board." That's what that response was. Don't worry, Emmanuel. I will give you the dignified response that all of the listeners of this show need.
That's it.
Oh my God. Oh goodness. Matthew has said, good evening, gentlemen. What's up, Matthew? How are you? Jay says here, I never remember to watch this live.
Hold on. Where is Jay?
It looks like he's in like some sort of ice cavern.
Cave,
man. Spelunking into an ice cave. Dude, that shit's scary. Have you ever seen, dude, that spelunking shit? You have to be nuts to do it. The lovely Paige used to do that. I'm like, you're freaking nuts. She used
What
to
is
go
splunking? What is splunking?
spelunking. It's where you go in these little caves. You know how caves you gotta get really skinny to maneuver
Oh
yourself.
no.
Well, hold on. It's like we
No.
go and you squish yourself all the way through these, and you get to a spot where it opens up, and you got to squish out. I'm like, that shit is nuts.
No.
I would have, I don't know. I would be like, I'm gonna die. Just shoot me in the face. I'm done. Once I get in there, I'm like, I'm not able to get out. My body's gonna get bigger and bigger because it's gonna get swelled up because it's gonna get all nervous. I can't. Not for me.
Maybe
Maybe he did that to get to that ice point. He had to splunk his way through ice.
probably the only way to get you out would be with a Mike Mulligan and his steam shovel. I'm going to tell a story, real quick story, just to tell you what TJ was like as a kid. You ever go to McDonald's, right?
Look at this shit. Look at his shit. Story fucking off. Fucking story off, Grump. Here you go. Go ahead.
There you go. Right? We went to McDonald's. Remember they used to have like the little thing you climb up and they have like all the balls?
Playpen. Yes, absolutely. Who
little
doesn't remember
balls
the
in there.
playpen, Grumpy? Paint the picture. How many stories of this playpen? Give me an example.
So TJ was like 15 years old.
Oh, 15. Okay.
I don't remember how. He was young. And he climbed up to the top of the ball pit, the top of the thing. It has like little tunnels, and he got lost.
And this is probably how many floors are we talking? 17, 18 floors, Grumpy?
2.
Really? Only 2 floors?
2. And here's the thing. It was really just one with like a little ladder up.
Shit.
It was like, nothing
kid floors,
extravagant.
like 17 kid floors. Maybe for an adult, it's like 2 floors,
2.
but 17 kid floors.
His mommy had to go into the ball area to retrieve him because he got stuck.
Not the ball area. It was at the top.
Yeah. He was caught in a little help. Oh
shit. Oh, shit. I didn't. What did I really say? I don't even know. I wasn't even old enough to have a memory of this, but barely remembering. Mom had to go up and grab me because I would not come down or couldn't come down. I don't even know.
A cat up a tree. That's what it was like. A little tree.
Oh my God. I got caught at the top.
He was like a cat who went on top of a couch and couldn't get off. That's what it was like.
It was like when you take one step up a ladder. Yeah. Honestly, though, it's kind of like when I went up those. Dude, I've always had a fear of heights. And guess what? When I was a little older, was that after I lost my 2 front teeth or before?
I think that was, I don't know. That's when TJ was playing on some jungle gym equipment and he fell face first.
It wasn't jungle gym equipment. What it was is I was
climbing. A little caterpillar. It was a caterpillar.
I was climbing up a metal caterpillar.
Caterpillar.
It was only a few rungs. Maybe we're talking like 4 or 5.
This was after that.
Okay, so this was after. Oh, so I was terrified of heights. I just got done knocking teeth out of my face.
Okay, TJ fell out of a bed taking a nap and broke his collarbone.
Okay, hold on. Let's not jump from story to story if we're talking about fear of heights, okay? Yeah, so that's where it all started. How old was I then? Like 3 or 4 years old?
When you broke your collarbone?
Yeah.
3.
Yeah. So I was 3 years old. I used to move around a lot in bed. I fell off a bed and I broke my
tornado. TJ Tornado.
TJ Tornado. I fell off the bed and I went ahead and I broke my collarbone. Then when I was just a few years after that, I was climbing down this. I went up the caterpillar and I started climbing down the caterpillar. It's like you have these rungs. I missed a step with my foot and I went whoop and my body was going down and my face just hit it and my teeth went boom flying out. So I lost my 2 front teeth. What can I say? Heights and I didn't go too well at a young age, Grump. So sorry. When I got to the top, I said, I'm not going down again. I don't want to lose the rest of the teeth in my mouth. So that's what happened, Grump.
It was embarrassing.
Ugh.
There's an adult child up top. He can't get out. He must be punking us.
That just happened. I think that was last month.
That's what it was.
I was trying to go ahead and do our podcast at the top of the McDonald's, and I got claustrophobic at the top, and I needed somebody to bring me down.
Then he forgot what time it was, and the store closed.
I was getting late. I was actually running late. That's why I was running late, really late on one of those shows. I was trying to get it, but I needed my mommy to help me down. Next comment, Grumpy says. John Smith said, "Is this the Disney episode?" I know. I got my. Oh yeah, that's right. You got a Grumpy shirt on too.
Oh yeah, look at that. Look at
We
that.
do have 2 Disney
Except
items.
mine has kind of a bearing on, the grumpy old man. See what I'm saying?
What can I say? Just wore the shirt. Don't hate on me.
Mhm.
Doug R said another Saturday night talking Islanders hockey with the grumpy old man. Dot, 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 dot. Hey, TJ. Oh, Doug. I know, Doug. Sorry I'm here. Sorry I'm associated. Paul W says JT Miller signed a long term. Ugh. Yeah, I know. That's not good. Nobody liked it, but hey, Matthew S says with JT Miller gone, can we hope that Barzal doesn't go there?
That's an interesting question, actually. I mean, that's still a couple of years away. I think they need to do something to show a good faith movement for him to get him to want to stay. And just having a girlfriend,
The girlfriend that lives on Long Island.
that's not enough.
Yeah, I was about to say. Sorry. Maybe he really loves her, but that's I don't know how long they've been dating. Maybe a year. I don't know. That's not enough to affect
Okay,
your
I'm
career.
going to say that the girl would move with him.
Probably that's correct.
Yeah, I'm just saying I don't think that's going to be enough of a pull to get him to stay. I think they need to make a couple of goodwill gestures towards him. Maybe make him the captain. Maybe that's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, that's right. That's another reason why they should make them the captain. Not only because it's going to help him be a better leader, but because that's going to help him re-sign that contract. Because once you're the captain, you can't lose the cap. The captain's not going to leave the free agency. Are you kidding me? We got to make him the captain. He's never going to leave then.
Maybe that would grease the skids to make him depart. The only captains who don't want to leave are the non-talented ones. They'll stay no matter what.
Holy shit. Oh my goodness gracious. Scott L said, I'm glad they didn't get Miller.
True.
D-Cut
Not
saying, what's up, boys?
Where's D-Cut from, TJ?
D-Cut, I think he's from this Facebook page called Isles Misery Rated R, Grump, isn't he? It's
What about them?
They say they're pretty okay group of guys, right, Grumpy? I'd say they're a pretty good group of guys. I think Grumpy bad talks him on the show. He says, I hate them. I usually say the Isles Misery Rated R, the best Facebook group ever invented, Grumpy, but you usually say you hate them.
Listen to me. First of all, I don't like the way your sarcastic tone talking about my pals at Isles Misery Rated R. I don't like that.
Okay,
it's just typical. I bet you your little goofball buddies, you wouldn't talk about them like that, would you?
Isn't the term goofball buddy? It's just kind of like that's like a goofball buddy. I don't know. It's like a happy-go-lucky term. Goofball buddy. Matthew S says,
from now on, when I snap my finger, that means next comment.
Stick it with the sun don't shine. Matthew S said he would have been number 4 on my list after McKinnon, Pasternak, and Tarasenko, talking about JT Miller.
Well, McKinnon was never coming here. Pasternak's never coming here. And they could have a shot at Tarasenko, at 31-year-old Tarasenko after next year.
James Nichols apparently immediately started with the Patrick Kane trade. And we're on to the next one. He said they never learned. Holy shit. I hadn't looked at the comments yet, but I thought it was funny because I feel like I have to address that because I didn't know they were. I really thought, well, I guess, hey, the media cartel has to find something to talk about. So they can't go ahead and be critical of anything that's out there. So they have to say, oh, maybe the Islanders are going to make a move. That's why we've been so silent. Patrick Kane is coming to the New York Islanders. I haven't read your article. I have no idea what James Nichols said, but I'm like, my God, he's already starting the Patrick Kane trade rumors.
Why would Patrick Kane go to the Islanders?
I say he wanted to be on a contender, didn't he?
If you want to be a contender, why would you come to the Islanders right now?
He's going to be traded at the deadline. Why would they trade him now? They're going to get more value for him at the NHL trade deadline than they will right now.
No one's getting traded now, just like I thought with JT Miller, same thing. These are all trade deadline guys. Nothing's going to happen before then.
Patrick Kane, no. Patrick Kane being linked to the Islanders, who would be a good fit. Okay, here's the thing. I haven't read the article, but if I'm going out on a limb, it's going to go like something like this. The Islanders missed out on a few big pieces this offseason, but they can still make a splash. And who can they make a splash with? A guy that's very talented, that fits a lot of the needs we have. Maybe a guy like Patrick Kane. There's no validity behind. Nobody has any idea. And it's one of these where it's like opining on who could be a good fit. And it's going to get Islander fans back to thinking, holy crap, we're not done. We could still make it happen, guys. We could still have it. And I'm like, please do not set these fans up for expectations of grandeur because it's not happening. I just wish they'd come out and say, completely underwhelming offseason. We're not going to do anything this year. These are some moves that would help our team, but our general manager wouldn't do. I would freaking applaud you all day and night if you had the balls to say that. If any of these people who write articles had the balls to say that, but they never would.
Nope.
They won't do this because of this. And I'm like, and that's when you can go ahead and then divert it into saying, we're a team that's supposed to be in win now mode, but it doesn't seem like we have a win now mentality. Dude, that would freaking I would applaud you. I'd retweet that. I'd be like, this is the first honest article I've seen in a long time. Amen. Amen, brother. I mean, like it's funny how little different words like that. It would keep Islander fans honest too, where they wouldn't say, oh yeah, Patrick Kane. That makes sense. Like, Patrick Kane is probably what we're going to go for, because now they're going to be fans saying Patrick Kane, that we're heavily linked to Patrick Kane. What do you guys think about Patrick Kane? Oh my gosh. Oh, John.
This is the only honest Islander podcast there is.
There might be other honest ones. I mean,
None
like,
that I know of.
I know Tom, we had him on. He has a podcast, right? He seemed pretty honest when we were on.
But he's game review. He's game.
Yeah,
review,
well,
right?
he does a podcast. He does one every once in a while too. So, okay, let me put it to you like this: the people whose careers it is to talk about the Islanders, they're not very critical, and just cross.
They're afraid. They're afraid of losing access.
I kind of understand where they are, though. If your job that you depend on to put food on your table is, could be directly affected if you ask a tough question or write an article that's tough or hard on the organization, you're going to have your rights restricted and you're going to have your livelihood restricted. It takes balls to do something like that, to throw your ring in the hat and say, my journalistic integrity, is going to force me to be honest to what I see is true and fit. But, I might I might have my job affected by that. It takes a lot of balls to do. It really does.
You know what I heard Phil was doing tonight?
What was Phil doing? How are we migrating that today right now to Phil? What is Phil doing?
I sent him a boot. He's probably licking it right now.
Why is he doing that, Grump?
Because I've read some of his commentary.
Oh, do you don't like some of Phil's comments here coming up? Oh, no.
Boot-licking weasel.
Oh, no. We'll have to have SmackDown. WWE SmackDown. Next Wednesday. Phil against a grumpy old man. Come on down to your local Greensboro Coliseum. Scott L. says here, why would Barzal want to stay with little activity? Lou has not shown in his 4 years as general manager. What would make Barzal stay?
That's a very right. That's what we just talked about that. I think you're gonna you have to do something to make it seem like you care about him.
Yeah, I could see it being frustrating for him. And here's the thing: he may be extremely happy, and we don't know shit all. That's also a possibility.
Yeah.
I'm putting myself in his shoes. What would I feel like? I could see myself being upset. And it's tough to say because you're not in the shoes, but I could see myself being upset and being, feeling like my team, my organization is not doing enough to surround me with the best players to succeed. And I could see myself being upset.
Particularly when the old man tries to lowball him on a contract negotiation.
Well, they haven't. We don't even know if they've talked contract negotiations, Grump. We don't know that because Lou won't make it privy. Oh, again, I guess it kind of gives away some of your tactical maneuverability if you say we've started talking with Matt Barzal about possible contract extension. Well, here's the thing. Do you think what can we ask about that? What type of 4D chess would Lou be playing there? The only thing that could benefit you by saying we're not going to disclose if we've talked with Matt Barzal about a contract extension, the only way that would benefit you is if you're looking to sell him. You're looking to sell him, and you think his value will be impacted if you say that you're not close together on a contract talk. That is the only way that it makes sense to say we're not going to talk about that. That's the only way. And now am I jumping to saying, oh, maybe they're looking to shop him? No. I'm like, what's the point of not saying that? It does you no benefit unless you're trying to sell him and you want to keep his value as close to what you see on the ice. You don't want his value to lower because, hey, we're having contract issues. We can't agree on a price. That is the only way. It shouldn't even cross his lexicon of thought to sell Matt Barzal. Seriously. So, yeah, that's the only thing I think about that. Sorry. Frank K says, just leaving Coney Island. I repped in my Islanders hat at the Cyclones game.
Yeah. Good for you, Frank.
Oh, Jay said I'd rather sign Alyssa Milano instead of Sonny.
Me
Who's
too.
Alyssa Milano?
I'll sign her.
Who's Alyssa Milano?
She was in Who's the Boss, but she grew up to be hot. Alyssa Milano.
Hold on a second. She's right up here. Alyssa Milano. What else did she star in? I don't know any of those movies. Who's the Boss?
Who's the Boss? That was a TV show.
She looks like a little bit like Leah Remini.
Maybe she was in Charmed also, I think. Was she in Charmed?
I don't know. Okay. Yeah, she's not bad looking. Fair enough.
I'd rather have her than Sonny, for certain.
Andrew L said, fantasy football updates, TJ. I'll mention it one more time. The fantasy football, I'm going to create the league tonight. I'm going to start sending out the emails and invitations tonight. So one more time, if you are interested in the fantasy football league, email us at IslandersFansUnited@gmail.com so I can get that and I'll send it to you. I'll send the invite. Alexander says, hey guys, how are you? Doing well? Alexander, hopefully you're doing well also. Grumpy gives a thumbs up. Brian B, with a little bit of a change profile picture, says, who cares about Milano?
We're in the old aviator glasses. Well, Brian, we do care about Alyssa Milano.
There it is. Doug R said, no need to worry about any new additions. Let's just keep guessing at line pairings. And even because, hey, we have to guess on that, and the lines are not obvious. It's scary, or not obvious is scary.
The thing that makes it even worse, it's not like you have so much talent that's like, yeah, man, this is really, how do we put this together that looks the best? I got this guy, who's going to fit with who? It's like, what do we have that we can put that makes a semi-semblance of a good line?
How can we try to best maneuver these puzzle pieces that don't fit perfectly? How can we best maneuver those to try to make the best picture? It's not a great scenario that we're in, but we'll try to make the best damn picture we can and the most complete puzzle we can, even with pieces that don't necessarily fit. John M, congratulations on the wedding. Hold on.
The only button TJ knows how to push. That
But John M, congratulations on the wedding. Checking in Grumpy on honeymoon. Can't stay long. Going to Auburn game next week. Get that shirt out. Islanders 85 to 92 points this year. Not in the playoffs.
I was planning on wearing the Auburn shirt tomorrow, but maybe I'll hold it for next week then.
Okay, there you go. Alexander says, no matter who we bring in, guys, Milano or TJ, or maybe even you, Grumpy, we still wouldn't make the playoffs, and Lou has failed us all again.
True. Very fair assessment.
Frank K said, everybody would have to bring Milano cookies to every home game. Man, I eat a lot of Milano cookies.
Are they Alyssa Milano cookies?
No, they're just Milano cookies.
Okay.
It's crazy. Doug R says, it was not going to take much to improve this team and have some real positive expectations on the playoffs, but we haven't done even that, I'm sure.
Yeah. No improvements. All right. Romanov is an improvement.
Correct. And I think he helps a lot for what we needed to do. But again, there was still a need to improve the forward group. And that was a big need too. We talked about it. Big needs, improving the defensive side of the puck, getting rid of their Chara and Green. We did that. Do the thumbs up, a check on that. There was also a big need to improve the forward group. We did
a massive need.
Absolutely. Frank K said JT Miller was a horribly overpaid $8 million. Get the F out of here.
Yeah, for me, that's too much.
Okay. Stephen S says, as I continue my search for the worst movies of all times, I recently saw Beast a few days ago, and it's worse than Morbius and Jurassic World Dominion. The film was so boring that I almost fell asleep.
That's when you know a movie's really bad. When you fall asleep watching a movie, it's bad.
Here's the thing. I don't know if it's like when I watch movies on like a 60-year-old man or I'm like grumpy old man age. I fall asleep during every movie I watch, every single one. In the movie theater, the lovely Paige, even if I'm eating like popcorn, I'm drinking some, I'll like doze off like 3 or 4 times. She'll nudge me like, huh? And I'll be, so I fall asleep all the time when I'm watching that.
You wonder why she's banging you like that? She's like, dude, I'm wasting money taking you to a movie theater.
You used to say that about grandma when we were young.
That's exactly what I said. You
So
fall asleep in the movie.
You stopped bringing her to the movie.
I stopped bringing her. I told her, I said, sorry, I'm not going to pay to watch you sleep. I could let you sit in my house to watch that for free.
Oh my God. Anthony R said, "Hey guys, with Miller gone, what about Connor Garland?" No, I'm sorry. Don't get your hopes up.
Well, I mean, would I be interested in acquiring Connor Garland? Yeah, I think he's okay. All right, is he great? No, but again, you're gonna have to start moving some guys out. He's younger. That's why I like him. He's shown that a penchant that he can score.
Connor Garland was just traded away last offseason to the Canucks. They're not moving him.
Okay.
I mean, and he's got a manageable contract. They're not moving him.
Okay. That's like I said, that'd be a guy I would not spit at.
We got the same likelihood of getting Connor Garland as we do a guy like Connor McDavid. It's just not happening across the board.
Okay.
What?
We'll see.
He has another 4 years at under 5. He has another 4 years at a cap hit that's less than Josh Bailey's.
If they have to,
you think Vancouver, a team that's towards the cap, is gonna move a guy? He's on a very good contract for them. Simple.
Sometimes you have to move guys out that you don't want to.
That's not a guy. He produces on a lower or on a deal to where he earns, or he's more valuable than what he earns. I don't think that's a guy that's if you're looking to prioritize who we have to move, that's somebody they don't want to move, I would assume.
Okay.
He still had 52 points in 77 games last year. That's a damn. I mean, for a guy who's in his 24, 25 years old, that's a good production, I think.
Yeah, I like I said, I would certainly entertain an offer for him. Why not?
Anthony also said, "Hey TJ, did you get my email regarding the fantasy league?" I'm sure I did. I'll be sending out emails tonight. But Anthony R, if you send me another one, just make sure I got it. I didn't have a chance to look at exactly who sent them. I know we've got 11 teams right now. Doug R said, in the words of Jim Mora, playoffs.
It's playoffs.
Oh yeah,
I remember watching that live. I was like, holy crap. You're going over the edge.
Playoffs. Stephen S. said, I'd give the film a 15 out of 100. I give it the worst film of the 2022 award so far. The film tries to be like Jaws, but it fails at every aspect in regards to what made Jaws so successful and popular. Anthony R. said Miller's contract will be horrible 4 years from now. Garland would be a good fit for us, depending on the price. No first rounders.
True.
They're just not going to move him. Alexander said, hey, TJ, you got to show Grump the photos I just sent you. Okay, let's see here. I haven't been on. Let's see here. Grumpy. So like it's not going to mean anything to Grumpy because Grumpy doesn't. Grumpy, you know what's you know about SpongeBob?
SpongeBob, yeah, he's a little freaking spongy ass rat on television.
Yeah. So it's not going to mean anything to him. So there's this scene, Grumpy and SpongeBob, to where they sell chocolate bars. Patrick and God Almighty, it's so weird that I'm explaining this to you, but I'll paint the picture quick and try not to sound too weird. But they're trying to sell chocolate bars, and this old little thing right here is a little fish, Grumpy, that's like on the deathbed. And she's like, it's gonna make you younger, and she can't hear anything. But this old Lou Lamoriello. So yeah, he's saying free agents. I remember when I first invented free agents. Sweet, sweet free agents. I always hated them. And that's the quote from the fish, that little old fish.
I can't say. Oh, geez, is that
they're selling free agents? Saying they're selling chocolate, and then the last image here is what? What are they selling? They're hard of hearing. So I know Grumpy's going to have a hard time. I tried to explain it the best I could in a quick manner.
I gotta say, I never really watched SpongeBob.
Yeah, you don't know anything like that. But hey, I like the memes. It meant something to me. I like the meme, but I know Grumpy wouldn't understand. So I had to explain it. Okay, I lost where I was with the comments. Okay, here we go. Jay said, are we allowed to discuss movies? Absolutely, Jay. Jay, I was about to say we don't watch enough of you don't watch enough of the live ones, is right. Grumpy loves talking movies, especially in the off season.
I do.
In life.
And here's the thing: you really want to talk movies? The
Talk
TJ
with
and
me.
Grumpy Old Man Show.
Talk with me. That's right. Oh shit! I forgot to mention it. We also have a second podcast called TJ and the Grumpy Old Man. It's every Sunday and Thursday. It's Sundays 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and Thursdays 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find the TJ and the Grumpy Old Man Show, number one, in the link in the description below. You'll see a link to where it says, check out TJ and the Grumpy Old Man podcast. But also, you can find it as a featured channel on our YouTube page. So if you go to our YouTube page, you'll see right down here, TJ and the Grumpy Old Man. You can click on it, subscribe, and you can go ahead and check out the videos every Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and every Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But yes, go ahead, Grumpy. I'll let you talk about this.
About what?
About the comments talking about these movies. If so, A Less Ordinary Life and Boondock Saints would get my vote for the worst movies of all time. Oh, I actually thought the Boondock Saints was kind of good.
A Life Less Ordinary. I don't think I've ever seen Boondock Saints. That's a lot of people like that. Me, I don't know.
It's not worst movie of all time.
It's certainly not the worst movie of all time. I've seen some bad movies. That's not one of them. And I haven't seen A Life Less Ordinary, so I can't comment on that.
Frank C says, I think as fans, we tend to overrate other teams' players, like that beautiful woman, and not try living with her, or not tired of living with her, perhaps. Yeah, I mean, I always we look at, yeah. So I could see that. Nick D says, TJ, Grumpy, how are you guys doing tonight? Doing well, Nick. Great. Hopefully you're doing well too. Jay says, and Nell with Jodie Foster.
Again, I don't think it's the worst movie ever. I have to think a long time before I think about the worst movie I've ever seen. Some are so bad that they're good. So, but I mean,
just laugh at.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, some of them, like I said, we have to talk one time on the TJ and Grumpy Old Man Show about guilty pleasure movies, and I have a bunch of them. I really do.
I like Kung Fu Panda. That's my favorite movie.
Ugh, greatest movie of all time, Kung Fu Panda.
Greatest movie, Kung Fu Panda, Grump. Anyway.
Sad commentary.
Nick D says status quo Lou is statu quo.
Oh. Who?
Who would you trade for Connor Garland? Connor Garland's not coming here, Nick. But Grumpy, who would you trade for Connor Garland?
It would almost have to be straight up Bavilier for him, wouldn't it?
Shit. I mean, come on.
Wouldn't it?
They're not going to take that deal. Are you kidding me?
I'm just saying. As who would Vancouver want off this roster? That's the biggest issue. We don't have any assets that anyone wants.
They're not going to trade him.
It's a hypothetical.
In this hypothetical, let's say Connor Garland needs to be traded because he said that he hates everybody on his team and he's become a locker room cancer and he needs to get gone. It's going to have to be Bavilier plus. You're going to have to give up draft picks. You're going to have to give up something additionally. Connor Garland is a better player than Anthony Bavilier. Simple.
Okay.
Frank C said we tend to gotcha. He corrected. He said you see all the flaws. Yeah. I'd say The Amazing Bulk in 2012 is the worst film of all time. The film is so undeniably bad that it doesn't even qualify as a movie.
The Amazing Bulk.
Who is that with?
I've never even heard of it.
The Amazing Bulk is with that. Who the hell was that? The offensive lineman who took a year off, who played for Michigan State. Who the hell was his name?
Tony Manrich. I don't think that's that.
Not that Amazing Bulk? Okay.
No.
Brian B says Johnny Hockey should be an Islander now. Yeah.
He should be.
Would be nice. Thomas B said, gents, they had no cap space. They had restricted free agents to sign. Lou wasn't able to move anymore. Did you hear the Sirius XM overview on the Islanders? Their numbers were mediocre. That's a bad place to be. The announcers gave the number 86. There were 86 players who scored 60 points or more last year, and not one was an Islander. Holy shit.
Yeah. They had cap space. Absolutely. You can go over 10% over the cap.
Yes.
So in actuality, they could have had $20 million in cap space to work with. They're not creative enough in moving guys off the roster, or he doesn't feel like he wants to move anybody off the roster. That's the failure. That's the failure.
We didn't have a single player that had over 60 points last year.
Two guys at 59.
Jeez.
Two guys at 59.
I had to look it up. I had to remember. I'm like, how close were they? Yeah, that's right. Two guys at 59.
Nelson and Barzal, 59 each.
You figure that forward group and providing a little bit more scoring would be a bigger emphasis placed on it this offseason, but I guess not.
Not at all.
Doug R said, the fact that you can go find an opening night ticket still for sale should tell you everything you need to know about this team. And I'm not talking resale tickets. These are directly from the Islanders. Yikes. Jay says here, Grump is pretty much right on about everything. The one time I disagree with him was Kyle Palmieri. And it's looking like Grumpstradamus was right about number 21. Hope he can turn it around this season.
We all do. I just wouldn't get my hopes up.
Yeah, like I hope, if we're in this hypothetical situation, we're first in division. I'm hoping we're trading picks, maybe a first-round pick for additional assets. I think Grumpy, instead of having, the first place in the division and giving up a pick to make a playoff push, I think Grumpy would rather us be out of it by Thanksgiving, would blow the whole team up, Grump.
I'm not short-sighted like a lot of people are.
Stop. It's too
I'm a big picture guy.
Brian B said, that's on Lou. It for certain is. Brad Crawford says, who do you think gets the sixth defenseman spot? Salo, Aho, or Schlovsky?
Isn't that an underwhelming group for the number 3 defense pairing? Think about it. Like I said, I just don't think Schlovsky's that good.
Yeah.
I like Salo. Aho, to me, is a number 7.
Yeah, Aho's not. Aho is. If I'm putting likelihood, Aho is the lowest chance.
But maybe he works better with Mayfield. Mayfield's always played better when he's had a guy who's a puck mover. Excuse me. That is Aho. It could potentially be Salo. I don't know if he's ready to play 82 games in the NHL yet. I would have liked a Calvin DeHaan type to come in there and, ease the transition. Lou liked Cholowski better. Okay, let's see how it pans out. Maybe it does. We have a lot bigger issues than who our number 6 defenseman is.
But it's a topic conversation. I think that's definitely a spot that's up for grabs. That's why he's asking the question, Grumpy. I think. Who do you think wins the spot out of camp?
I don't know. I pretty much rolled the dice on just about everybody, including guys not on the team. So if I was going to say who's going to start day one, I'm saying it's going to be Sebastian Aho.
Wow. Well, he did only have, he was arrested for drink driving. It was only 0.02% blood alcohol content. And, it's just, don't worry about it. We'll be super specific. The law in Sweden is 0.01. So he was over it, but it was so low, Grumpy. It was less than a beer.
And I thought it was like the next day.
What?
He woke up in the morning and was driving and got popped, I thought.
Are you serious?
I thought that's what I read somewhere.
Holy shit, man.
I could be wrong.
How miserable of a driver was he that he was still getting popped? I mean, like, you go to bed, he wakes up. Let's say he even got there for morning skate. Let's say he got there at like 7 or 8. He was there for a little bit of a morning skate, or even 6. Dude.
We don't know if he was skating to practice.
Then he woke up late. How the hell are you still blowing?
Maybe he wasn't. Maybe it's like, I don't know. Who knows? There's not a whole lot of details like Lou Lamoriello's offseason. Not a whole lot of details.
We got a lot of details regarding what the BAC.
We have more details about the Swedish drug alcohol, the alcohol level that you get popped for than anything that happened to the Islanders all offseason.
I found that extremely funny. We talked about that last show. How freaking ridiculous is that? We know more about what BAC Sebastian Aho had when he was arrested for drink driving. We know the laws in Sweden, but we don't even know the simplistic answers of, hey, what's the inner working? Have we talked with Matt Barzal about a contract extension? We don't even know that, but we
But
know
let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. That blood alcohol level will look, hey, it really wasn't that high. Look what their thing is over here. We checked it out.
To answer your question, I think Shilofsky probably wins the spot out.
Oh, my God.
I'm telling you, I just had that feeling. I'm rooting for Salo, but I feel like Shilofsky.
What does it say about Salo?
Shilofsky was a guy who was in the A for quite some time last year. He didn't even stick it out in a full-time spot. And remember, he was with Detroit, gone from Detroit. And I can't remember who he's with last year, and he was gone from them too. Seattle. Maybe he was on the ice that game that they shut out the New York Islanders for their first career shutout. Maybe that's what sold Lou Lamoriello on him.
Maybe.
But if I'm thinking one, I think it's probably going to be Shilofsky. I hope it's Salo. Mario says here he could have moved Varlamov and Bailey at the deadline. Just saying. Yeah, he had the ability to move players at the deadline, even free agency, too, during that free agency period. You easily could have moved Varlamov. You had options.
There are a lot of guys they could move off this team. Scott Mayfield is an easy move.
He doesn't take a lot of cap, though.
He could move him tomorrow.
That's when
okay.
you get prospect.
But you get assets back.
Remember, this is all regarding the comment saying we didn't have cap space. So this is all regarding that still. D-Cut says, fire TJ, hire D-Cut. Frank says, Brad, hopefully Robin Salo wins the spot out of camp. Doug R said, the game with the fewest actual tickets still for sale is the one against the Rangers. That tells you already how many visiting fans will be in the building. Sad.
And they're the most expensive tickets, I believe, on the resale market.
Because a lot of Ranger fans will go to that game.
A lot of Ranger fans, yep.
Matthew S. says, nobody wants Bailey unless we trade high draft picks, apparently.
I disagree. Don't tell me you couldn't dump Bailey for a 5th-round pick.
Varley, yes. Nobody wanted Bailey. I do agree. Nobody wants Bailey. Varlamov, you could have traded and gotten prospects back.
You know who else didn't want Bailey?
Who?
His mother.
Pony McCurdy says, hi, boys. What's up, Pony boy? Frank C says Dobson had to play with a handicap last year. Big Z. That's another thing, too. He had probably the shittiest defensive partner with him, too. I mean, Big Z, if you're putting his Big Z was one of the he was in the worst 10, or what did they say? He was in the 90th percentile. Or what's when you're really shitty? You're really, really low. Is it like the 90th percentile or something like that? Because like the 10th percentile is really high. He was in like the 90th. He was not good. He was like the bottom 10% of the NHL regarding defensemen last year.
Yeah.
And he had Noah Dobson was playing with him. Doug R said, holy crap. Arthur Staple just tweeted out about Lou. He signed all 3 Hanson brothers to help us with scoring.
That'd be fun if he did something like that. I just don't think he's creative enough to come up with something that funny.
Frank K says, I said it 4 years ago. Dobson plays like a 15-year veteran.
Very smooth.
And I totally agree about Dobson getting more physical. He had a traffic cone for a partner. He had no choice.
True.
Yep, absolutely. State of Survival said the Canucks paid way too much for Quinn. Compare that to Dobson's contract. I got to give it to Lou. He knows how to negotiate. No, State of Survival. Absolutely not. What were Quinn Hughes's? What's his contract? I'm not even sure off the top of my head.
I don't know what it is. I mean, you can look it up on capfriendly.com. They always have that stuff.
Holy shit. I was hoping you would know, hey, it's unbelievably large. It's not. He makes Quinn Hughes cap hits about $7.8 million per year.
That's okay. If he's as great as Corey Proman thinks he is, that's a good number for him, right?
Think about it. He's 22 years old. This contract started when he was 21. So they bought out only 1 year, 1 or 2 years of unrestricted free agency. And they're paying him about 7.8. They're paying him a little more than 7.8 million a year.
Okay. So how many more years does he have left on his deal? He's going to be 20.
Another 5 years.
Okay. I don't think he brought out any. I don't know.
They did. Remember, it's either the 7 years in the NHL or until you reach that year when you're 26. So he's played the 7 years in the NHL. It'll be like 2 years of unrestricted free agency. They will have bought out.
Okay. I mean, there's a 3-year entry level deal, and then what was it? A 5-year extension?
No 6-year extension.
Okay.
Anyway, so I mean, like Quinn Hughes puts up numbers. That's why he's valued. So
he'll get paid again next time around, without a doubt.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's a talented guy. He puts up points on the board. He's skilled. He skates well. He is small though, so you always worry about that. Brian J says Islanders make the playoffs. Sorokin MVP. I can dream it. I can dream, can't I?
New picture for Brian. Looks nice.
But he can dream, Grumpy, right? It is a nice picture there.
Yeah, we can all dream. Islanders going to be first in division. Oh yeah.
Alexander says Max Scherzer just left after 5.1 innings pitched, 67 pitches. Not good.
Oh.
He got saying 10-7 Irish. Matthew S. said Yankees lost again. LOL. Lead down to 4 games.
And that was even after that loser manager, Aaron Boone, came out and ripped the team, which I think is the first time he's done it since he's been there. And they came out and once again just underperformed. He needs to go. They need somebody. They need a tougher voice in the room, not that Melvin Milquetoast.
Grumpy, can I have you do that magic thing where you put it on your collar last time?
God, what a pain in the ass you are.
Grumpy, fucking Mike. Is it better if I do that?
How's that better now?
Dude, the quality sounds much better now too, Grumpy. That's fantastic. I can see it's.
Can you move your microphone about 10 feet away from you? That should improve the quality of the podcast.
You're not going to be able to hear me then, Grumpy, if I move it 10 feet away.
There you go. Figure it out.
Oh, no. Jake K said, I hope William Defoe is not French for Michael Del Cole.
Very good. Very good. I love it, Jake.
Oh, man. Yankees lost again. This is getting ugly. George P. said, put Bailey on a concession line and have him bring food to the fans. Wait, Bailey would fuck that up as well.
Every order be wrong.
Oh, CJ says, what's up, mother effers? He said, I just got in here. Did you address JT Miller resigning with Vancouver? Lou does a great job again. Yeah, we did. Oh, CJ sent me, and I'll have to show this to you, Grumpy. He sent me, it's a new show that's coming out. I don't know what channel it's on, but it's a new show that's coming out. It's like, you know, that little, the hockey where they're like in juniors or something like that. You said it with the raunchy humor or something that you were telling me about. Like,
yes.
It's something like that, but on the KHL, and it's kind of funny too. So it's something I'll send you. I'll shoot you. So you'll have. I know you like watching those.
I think one. I don't forget. Maybe it's. I know it's on Hulu. The one I'm talking about. I don't know if it's called Jonesy or whatever. I don't know what it was, but I enjoyed it. I watched the first episode and a half. I'm like, oh, this looks like it's fun.
You said it was called Jonesy or something?
Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, this is called Junior League, I believe. It looks kind of good. I watched
Junior League. His thing, the warden didn't like it, so you know.
CJ says Marvel She-Hulk and She-Hulk twerking with Meg the Stallion, Meg the male horse.
That show's unwatchable.
Oh, it's a show or is it a movie?
It's a show. What's the difference?
Oh, it's a show. I told you before, when they started coming out with superheroes like Ant-Man, scrap the entire thing. I don't need any superhero movies again. Bomb the entire production of all those. Just put them down, put the films in the trash can, burn them on fire. I'm sick and tired of all these, God almighty, all these superhero movies. I like Paul Rudd. I thought was a funny movie, but just thinking of the concept of a little tiny guy who makes himself small and has super, I'm done.
He doesn't make himself small. The suit makes him small.
He makes himself. Oh, Jesus Christ! The suit he does, it's the same shit.
He can make himself really big too.
Who cares?
Just turn the dial the other way.
We just switch it to Wumbo, Grumpy, right?
Just like you.
No, Grumpy. I said you just switch it to Wumbo, right?
Wumbo. I don't know what the hell that is.
I was making a SpongeBob reference that I knew you wouldn't understand, but the younger audience.
Oh, congratulations.
I was doing it again because we said you didn't understand SpongeBob, so I was just screwing with you. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm sick and tired of all these superhero movies, all these ridiculous like superheroes. No, just a few good ones, and I don't need any other ones. Just too many superheroes, too many movies. No, absolutely not. That'd be crazy if they came out with. I don't even watch movies, but I would not sit through those. Rob says that's what happens when you have Franklin the Turtle as your general manager.
Oh, shit. Franklin
Grumpy needs to take over all reading immediately, says D Cut. Drew L. Grumpy's got a comment for you.
I don't know. I see Ratu being more of a second line center. More than a third line center. Here's my thing about this year. If Lou remains as our general manager, no more trading first round draft picks. 100% agree.
Mm-hmm. D-Cut says, do you have any confidence in that bum Thompson will help his development? It's a good question, too.
No.
Fred Thompson. Mario says about half of these scouting reports I've read out on Ratu actually agree with his assessment, seeing him as a third liner in the NHL. Remember that Ratu was projected to be a top 5 pick and then dropped to the second due to attitude issues. I thought he dropped to the second due to lack of performance and lack of growth as a player.
No, I thought a lot of it was attitude issues, to be honest with you.
What? Really?
Yeah, that's what they said. That's what I heard. Yes.
What I saw from him, and again, we've seen him. Grumpy's seen him in person. I've seen him play a few games. He looks like he can play. He's the most talented player in that AHL group. And man, maybe it's because I see him as the most talented guy on the group, and I'm like, he can't possibly only be a third line center, because if he is, how shitty is everybody else? Everybody else in the organization?
Not every draft pick it turns out to be anything, you know.
That's true. Rob says Lou, lazy or unable. Either way, he should be put out to a pasture. D-Cut saying TJ having a millennial hissy fit. JG says millennial meltdown. That's cute. That's cute, JG. That's cute there, D-Cut.
I love when TJ gets exasperated if I make a noise he doesn't like or a movement he doesn't like, and you can see it on his face. He can't hide anything.
Grumpy. When I see these things, I feel like sometimes when I hear you speak, I'm like, holy shit, it's Lou Holtz. You start getting dry-throated. Obviously, that's being hyperbolic, but you start to get dry-throated. You start speaking real quick, and I'm like, holy shit, man, slow down, Lou.
I like when TJ tries to read comments, tries being the operative word.
Exactly. I can't read comments, Grumpy. So, hey, if I knew you were able to read them all quick without getting out of breath and working you too hard, I'd do it. SP said, lots of fans are optimistic this season, a.k.a. playoffs. I just don't get it at all. I'd be shocked if we come close.
I think we'll be closer than last year.
I think we'll be closer than last year, and I really do feel like we're close. We've got a lot of mediocre teams in that division. We really do.
And we're like less than mediocre.
We're around mediocre.
They all had over 100 points. I
understand.
I don't know how you say that's mediocre.
I say Washington with, again, Washington's an old team similar to ours, but now they're not going to have Tom Wilson for the first 3 or 4 months of the season. And I think Nicholas Backstrom probably that hip surgery might be a career-ending injury. So you're losing a guy who's a top center for you, and you're losing Tom Wilson, who provides offense and grit, and you're missing him for the first 3 to 4 months. That's gonna be really tough to continue at that pace. And the goalies can't get worse, is what we say. I don't know. Goaltending is a big issue for them. And do they have that issue solved with a new goalie? Who knows?
But that's all offset by the fact that we have Josh Bailey, Anders Lee in the fourth line in our lineup.
There it is.
That makes it even worse.
The Wicked 50 Cal said, what's going on, guys? Doing well, Wicked 50 Cal. Hopefully you are too. SP said, I see us right now as Minnesota before they got Kirill Kaprizov. Too good to be bad and too bad to be good. Just downright mediocre. The worst place to be.
Caught on the hamster wheel.
Grumpy, hold on. Got to do that a little bit more. I didn't know what was going on.
Caught on the hamster wheel. That's why you might as well just suck. Embrace the suck. Blow it up. Start over. Defense is set. Goaltending set. Forward group. Couple of guys. Blow the rest out of the water. Run that wheel.
Grumpy, you do that so well. Did you used to own a hamster or something?
No, but I've seen one on television.
Okay. Absolutely. Drew L said, I'm excited. Check it out. Absolutely, Drew. Will do. SP says, our offense is horrendous. We can't win if we keep expecting to survive by scoring 2 goals per game.
True.
Yep. Yep.
Too tough. Too tough.
In order to make the playoff, SP says, in order to make the playoffs, we need to knock somebody out. It ain't going to happen. We have to contend with all the Metro and Atlantic teams who actually addressed needs and got better.
Well, they certainly address needs. We won't find out if they got better until the season starts.
I agree with that. Pony Boy Curtis says TJ is so controlling.
Very true.
Pony Boy.
He's like a freaking ogre.
Elder abuse. Oh, stop.
Once again, very, very true.
Oh, my God. Grumpy crying wolf over here. Oh,
no. Wolf, not woof. It's not a freaking woof.
Wolf.
Woof is a noise a dog makes. Wolf is an animal.
You're
not
crying
wolf.
You're
it's
crying
not
wolf.
A wolf.
You're crying wolf, Grumpy. You're crying wolf. SP says the only team I see doing worse than us in the Metro is Philly. Yeah. Yikes.
I know a lot of people don't think Columbus is going to be any good or the Devils. Well, the Devils is me. But can you imagine if they improve? That's a concern. Both teams have younger rosters. And if they make a jump and we're falling behind, then what's the old man going to say? We feel confident. Oh, we thought that 8 teams from each division make the playoffs. That's why we got a little bit confused.
Oh, man. Alexander said, I picked 10th overall and took Nick Chubb.
Okay.
Brett W. says, leave Grumpy alone, TJ. He was watching the Hurricanes beat down some all-girls school.
Sweet St. Mary's Sisters of the Poor.
What did they play? Bethune Cookman? What did they play? I can't remember.
I don't know. Do you remember what I said? Who was going to win the games on Thursday night's show?
What do you mean, who?
Georgia. I thought Georgia was going to kill.
Oh, yeah. We agreed.
Kill
Oregon.
Kill Oregon. Yeah, Oregon. And I thought that mediocre Cincinnati team would lose to Arkansas, which they did today.
I did too.
Let me ask you a question, TJ. I know this is not a hockey-related question. They had 11 guys lose. Cincinnati had 11 guys lose their helmets during the game.
I watched that game.
Why don't they snap their helmets up? That's the only way you lose your helmets if you don't snap it up.
They all have it to where and it's all like, they pull it now. It's not like it used to be like you press it against the side. Now it's like pretty much everything is nailed in. You just slide your helmet on and you tighten the strap. So maybe they're just not tightening the straps tight enough. I couldn't tell you. They did have a lot of people lose helmets. That Cincinnati game, the kicker missed like 2 or 3 field goals.
3 field goals.
3 field goals. I'm like, holy shit, you suck.
I like how he missed 2 chippy field goals early. 2 chippies.
Well, no, I thought it was 1 chippy early. Then he missed one and then another chippy.
2 chippies early, missed his first 2 kicks, and then they send him out
for like a 49 yarder, and he hits it off the cross or hits it off.
No, it was 53 yards, and they thought, oh, this is in his range. I'm like, dude, have you watched him miss 2 25-yarders today? He's not hitting. I said, there's no way he's hitting that, and he missed it. I don't know. 20 yards to the damn right. He tried to push it.
He hit it off the post.
Not the last one.
Okay, so the first one he missed was not a chippy then. The second one he missed was not a chippy. It was like a 40-something yard kick.
Hit the post on the second one. The second one he hit the post.
It was like a 40-yard kick.
20, 23 yard, 24 yard. Missed it.
Correct. A chippy and a normal kick and a long one.
And the long one, I'm like, there's no way he's hitting that. No way. And you looked at him with his skinny little arms and skinny little legs. You know what? He looked like he was She-Hulk. So he went out there and he took that just what a miserable kick. That kid might as well. I'm afraid he's going to get beat up when he gets back. I think he's wearing glasses too.
Oh no, dude! I can't wait. The Chapel Hill, Appalachian State game was great, dude. I'm going to start talking about football. I'm sorry.
We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Real quick. The fact that they ran as soon as they did that, I come in. I just got done working, and I was watching that game on the ride home, and I'm like, they had recovered the onside kick. I'm like, go down. He runs in for a touchdown. I'm like, go down. He runs in for a touchdown. He leaves Appalachian State like 28, 30 seconds left. And I'm like, that's going to be enough time for them to score. They have a huge return back. They score a touchdown and fail the second 2-point conversion in a row. And I'm like, you could have very easily lost that game because with the ball recovering on the onside kick, you didn't just kneel down and go ahead and just do 3 QB kneels and end the game out because you wanted to score the touchdown.
I'm just going to say one thing about University of North Carolina football.
They suck.
They gave up 40 points in the fourth quarter to Appalachian State.
Don't be shitting on Appalachian State now, Grump.
I'm not, but they should not be on the level of the University of North Carolina.
You're about to see Notre Dame. SP said, counting the seconds until Lou is gone. Hey, its ticket gets shorter and shorter. Drew L said, Grumpy, not holding back on the F-bombs. Yeah, Grumpy.
Actually, those were TJ F-bombs. I never use. You notice I very rarely use that word. It was TJ in his nasty little private chat. F and TV up, dude.
Rob said, dude, respect your dad.
Thank you, Rob.
SP said that rant over. What's going on, guys? Haven't been on one of these in a while. I'm doing well, SP. Hopefully everything's going well.
Glad you're back.
Summertime for you. Glad you're back.
Love the logo. Love the logo.
Ponybird Curtis said, I'm gonna order Grumpy a life alert for whenever TJ starts to verbally abuse him on the podcast. Life alert.
I got a man/boy verbally abusing me here. I want to arrest it.
Ponybird Curtis says, TJ, you ruined the podcast when you cry about Grumpy watching TV for 45 minutes in your bizarre bathroom breaks. Then whatever it does, Grumpy. Whatever it is,
Grumpy does.
Yeah. Rob says, spot on, Pony Boy. And he also says, boys, Ariel was a great guest. I'm not on Long Island anymore. It was a blast to hear a traditional old Long Island accent. That girl's got it.
Absolutely. That was the one thing. Yep. She's got that accent, that East Meadow accent. You could tell she's been there a long time.
Jill said, yeah, Grumpy, turn your effing TV off, you bastard. And gotcha. And TJ, by the way, TJ, the video you're gonna see, unless you've watched any of my videos, it's my channel. I'm gonna have a face reveal for you guys. Ooh, get to see what Drew looks like here too. Pony Curtis says, TJ, when are you gonna do the poll that actually matters? Who would we rather have read the comments?
Oh wow!
Hold on, let me do that poll.
I like how D-Cut says I should read the comments immediately. I read one comment flawlessly, and then TJ just starts reading them again.
Okay, Grumpy.
We'd already be through the comments if I was reading.
Rob was laughing. SP's got a comment for you, Grump.
Everyone keeps forgetting that we barely won any games, even when fully healthy against playoff teams. Is Romanoff going to make us win those games? Highly doubt it. And that's what I mentioned, on Wednesday's show. We were 9-27 and whatever against teams who are in the playoffs. It just means you can't beat good teams. And if you can't beat good teams, you're not going to make the playoffs. Playoffs. See how smooth? All you got to do is hit the next button, and it's still too much for you.
Well, I'm trying to go ahead and get a poll up, Grumpy. Give me a break, huh? Here you go. Here's another comment for you.
Brett W. says, if they have to unload their forward group outside of Nelson, Barzell, and maybe Wallstrom, they ain't getting much. True. Next comment. Rob says, no playoffs this year. Book it. SP says, agreed, Rob. Scott Levy says, I agree, Grump. Blow it up, which would mean getting rid of the geezers. Exactly. That's what we should do.
We've got a poll up now, Grumpy. There's a poll up. And John Smith, Grumpy's got a comment for
I don't trust Lou to make a good trade. It'll be another Palmieri or JGP. No thanks. Keep the pick.
Fair enough.
Ponyboy Curtis says, who wants to set up a GoFundMe page
for Grumpy's life
alert?
Look at that guy. That guy looks pretty good. I don't know what it's.
Look at how bold you look. That's the one thing you got your whole hand. You got big hands all over your face, and all I see is skull.
I'm big everywhere, Grumpy. What can I say? I'm a big guy.
Oh, whatever.
Ponyboy Curtis got another one for you, Grump.
Bro, TJ, I can't believe how the F you ate effing moldy hot dogs, you despicable scumbum.
No, did he say scumbum?
No, I added the scum part. He did say you're a bum.
Oh, he did say bum.
You're a bum.
There it is. Hey, man, it tasted not too bad. I didn't even notice it. That was the bad thing.
Alexander says, TJ, leave Grump alone, sir. Respect your elders.
Oh my
I think
god.
he's doing a shaking his head emoji. I think that is.
There you go.
Tony
Grumpy.
Boy Curtis, repping the bald podcaster, says, talking about that with a young girl on a podcast. What the hell is the matter with you?
Oh, talking about moldy hot dogs. Yeah,
Well,
fair enough. Alexander Grumpy.
Alexander says, no, don't blow it up. I'm 37 years old. I want the Islanders to win a cup before I die. It doesn't matter, Alexander. All the guys, you could be, let's say you're 60. That means everybody who's on the team is going to be gone regardless by then. Everybody. Ponyboy once again says, dude, anything with green or blue or white spots on it is moldy. You crustaceous cellar-dwelling critter. You can't eat that shit, TJ. I almost threw up listening. TJ, you should have become a roofer.
I guess roofers have the ability to have a lead stomach. They just eat anything and everything, I guess. Got a comment here, Grumpy. I'll let you keep reading.
Grump, did you ever take TJ and your kids to Cedar Street Park off of Uniondale Avenue? No. When I had children, we never lived in New York. I've been out in New York a long time. Long time. Matta says, Barzal has proven his worth to be captain. True words have never been spoken. Brennan M says, wonder if Islanders fans that play video games get the new one each year or they keep playing the same one from 2019. That's a good question. I don't play the videos, so I don't know.
I'll give you an answer, Grumpy. I don't pay for it. I just get the free one when it becomes eligible. I'll wait like the season will be close to over or playoffs will be over, and they'll download the new one or the old one, I guess it is, from last season. They'll give it to me for free.
My God. Drew L/C says, D-Cut is from the #1 Islanders Facebook group, Islanders Optimism Rated G. Woo!
Optimism rated G. Alexander says one here, Grumpy. He says, I get the new one every year.
Mattis says, don't be so sure Pasternak is staying in Boston. I'm not saying he's staying in Boston. I'm just saying he's not coming to the Island. Mattis also says McKinnon most likely will stay. Colorado will back up the truck for him, as they should. Yes. SP says, Grump Kane really likes Barzal's game, so I think that is the only draw. But who the hell do we have that the Hawks want? Not giving up a first-round pick. If you're not giving up first-round picks, you're not giving anybody. Because we don't have anybody they want. Maybe Dobson, Sorokin, Barzal.
Hey, they're going to ask for a lot. They're going to ask for a lot for him. It's that simple.
Yep.
You're going to have to give up a plethora. Picks, young players. He's a very talented player still this stage. From Chris Smith.
Kane would need to be a winger. They need wingers, the Islanders. What are your opinions of Pajot in the upcoming season? Do you think he's capable of playing like his old self and not like last year?
I think he'll play a little bit better than he played last season. I do think that you don't expect the Jean-Gabriel Pajot that we saw in the shortened season and even the COVID shortened season and then in the 2019-2020 season. I think he'll still have hopefully more jump than he had last year. I've said it before. I really worry that he's a guy, smaller frame guy who plays hard minutes and plays that rough style where, he is just an absolute pest on, to any other team's side. I think it's tough for him to continue to play every single role and wear all those hats and play at the same level for that long of a time period as age.
Okay. Next
comment. Do you not have a comment on that?
No, I'm going to let you comment on some. If I'm reading, I'll let you comment.
Okay.
Grump, are you hate watching She-Hulk? I'm not even going to bother. I can't do it myself. Okay, I have not watched it. I saw a brief clip where she was saying, woe is me, I'm a woman. And that is enough to make me say I'll never watch that series. Ponyboy Curtis says, Grump, how did you not bug the F out when TJ didn't know who Alyssa Milano is? Because he doesn't know anything about anything. I don't even know how he doesn't know who Alyssa Milano is.
I don't know anything about anything.
Nothing. He knows nothing.
Curtis said, TJ, I've never done fantasy football. I don't know how it works, TJ. Explain it to me, please.
He can't.
So you
TJ
pick
just likes an auto draft.
You pick players, and certain items and certain performances on the field give you points. So rushing yards give you points, touchdowns give you points. You ideally want to have the most points by the end of the week, and that gives you a win. So that's just on a basic level. What is fantasy football? D-cut, Grump.
TJ, check out the poster of Alyssa Milano Devils jersey. It's not X-rated. It's triple X-rated. Put it up.
Oh,
Let's see.
Oh, it's Grumpy. We're not going to show if that's triple X rated.
It's not triple. She's just wearing a Devils jersey. You can pull it up and see what it looks like. You make the determination.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, let's see it.
Is she? Who is she? Was she also in?
Charm. I think she was in the show Charmed.
Oh,
that's TJ taking a picture.
I just grabbed the screenshot so I can go ahead and pop it up on screen.
Yeah, that's nothing. As a matter of fact, she looks better than that now.
Okay.
She still looks very young there. Next comment. Ponyboy Curtis says there is the Blutarski chance of getting Patrick Kane. Mr. Blutarski, 0.0. You're out. All of you. Ponyboy Curtis says, I don't want Patrick Kane anyway. That guy has been the Ben Roethlisberger of hockey.
Well, no. He didn't actually sexually assault Ben Roethlisberger. What he get accused of rape or sexual? I can't even remember. It was so long ago.
I don't think it's much of a stretch to say that he's the Roethlisberger of hockey.
Why is that?
He had something happen up in Buffalo one off season.
So he had also sexual assault or sexual harassment. I didn't know that.
And this was before
all
the sexual harassment stuff that's going on now. This was before then. So it was probably pretty serious.
Oh shit. Max B, Grumpy.
Happy holiday weekend, fellas. Barzy may be another victim of the Tavares syndrome. It was obvious once the playoff hopes evaporated by Thanksgiving, Tavares had no interest in re-signing with us.
Yep. Chris Smith, Grumpy.
What is that email for fantasy football? It's Islanders with an S.
Yep.
Fans
United.
Just so just add an S.
At Gmail.
Gmail.com.
Islanders Fans United. Yep.
That's if you just would have let me finish instead of talking over me. It's Islanders. Put an S after the R before the F. Fans United at gmail.com.
Hopefully that's large enough to see.
Islanders Fans United.
Ariel C. Grumpy Ariel C. Welcome back. She says Barzal is staying long term.
I wish I could do the accent, but I can't. I probably could, but it wouldn't sound as good as Ariel's.
And you'll put hers to shame. Yeah, I just can't do that. Grumpy. Another comment by Ariel saying,
have you seen the media cartel saying Lou has a relationship with Kane and he might come here?
Holy shit. That's the next thing to do. No, we were just bullshitting as to what they would say.
Let's keep the fan base interested. We don't do it. This is right out of the Garth Snow free agent signing playbook. You find something that works, you just continue going with it. Keep the fans interested by saying, we're going to get these marquee names. We have an opportunity to get these marquee names. And you never get anybody.
Never come close. But that is the cartel media at its freaking finest, Grump. Look at that. Well, he's got a relationship with him. So remember, he had a relationship with Nazem Kadri too. We were penciled in to sign him.
Very true.
Holy shit. Ponyboy Curtis, Grumpy.
TJ, what kind of doctor is the lovely Paige?
She's a pediatrician.
She should be a psychiatrist dealing with TJ.
Drew L. Grumpy.
I guess that means your wife isn't going to be able to take you out on movie dates, TJ, because you fall asleep in the theater.
Mm-hmm. And go ahead, Grumpy.
Max Power says that's why it's totally unacceptable to not move them at the deadline for assets.
SB says, I don't typically watch movies that would make me bored. Only movies that that ever almost put me to sleep were Justice League and the Eternals.
The Zack Snyder cut of Justice League, which is 4 hours plus, was better than Justice League. The Eternals has no redeeming value whatsoever. It was so bad. I heard it wasn't good. I said, well, you know what? Let me give it a shot anyway. I couldn't even make a half hour. It was so bad. It was maybe the worst movie I saw this year, last year, anytime recently. It was terrible. If I had paid money for it, I would have walked out. Say, give me my money back.
We have, Grumpy, I want to give you an update on the original poll. It's who would you rather read the comment? TJ versus the grumpy old man. Right now, the grumpy old man, 63%. TJ, 37%.
Oh, wow. So you got actually much more votes than we thought you. Well, here's the thing. I think people like to listen.
19 people have voted. So if you haven't voted yet, make sure you vote. Make sure you vote there. And we'll see.
Actually,
there's a whole bunch of votes that can come in at the end of the night that can go ahead and sway the vote. We need a whole bunch of TJ votes that are going to be jammed into the boxes. Give us some TJ votes.
Here's the thing. I think people like the sound of TJ's voice. It's very calming. Certainly that's not my voice, but he does have like that radio voice. He does. Just what comes out of his mouth doesn't make any sense.
There you go, Grumpy.
Vancouver is $2 million over the cap, and they still have to sign Horvat. That's why I think Garland. I don't think. Here's the thing. There's so many things they can do to get under the cap. $2 million is nothing to get under the cap. Nothing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Ponyboy Curtis says, I can imagine Grump cutting costs while going to the movies. Okay, boys, we're going to be leaving Grandma at home tonight because she can't stay awake.
That's exactly what he said.
Yes. No, that's not what I said.
Bullshit. We knew about it when we were kids. The reason why I said, why is Grandma not going? Because she can't stay awake.
Well, that's true. I did say that.
You did say because she can't stay awake at the movie.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. You walk into a theater, she sits down, she's asleep before the trailers even start. No, not happening.
Chris Smith, Grumpy.
Unless he's willing to move to a winger position, he's really not a fit anyway. Talking about Patrick Kane, I assume.
Mm-hmm. Ponyboy Curtis.
TJ, stuff these hot dogs down your pants. Other son, shove these sodas in your shirt. Don't let them search you.
We used to do that. We always used to mom would carry in, the warden would carry in, she'd bring in a purse and would carry in all like the snacks and stuff like that. Grumpy would get his popcorn and he'd get the drinks, and that was all we get. I remember when I told you, when I used to work at the movie theater, I used to, when people would do that, there's different ways people put butter on popcorn. And there's some people are so particular, and I learned over time, some people fill it up halfway and they go ahead and layer popcorn butter on it, and they come back again, they fill it up again. I've seen people who've done the straw method. They stick a straw down, and again, I told you about that. They stick a straw down, they get the butter dispersed down there, and on the next level, Grumpy would always get the popcorn. How did you used to do the popcorn before we taught you the straw method, or before I let you know about the straw method?
Put as much butter on possible and hope it soaks down to the bottom.
God almighty.
I mean, how can you go to a movie theater and not eat popcorn?
I like popcorn.
It's impossible.
Yeah, it's good. Dude, I tell you, there have been times, I remember once, because they get that heated popcorn, so it's it's on a heater underneath. I remember once I walked by, somebody had put the canola oil as the popcorn butter, so people were putting the cooking oil for the popcorn all over their popcorn afterwards. Nobody said a thing. I was just like, holy shit. I said, we need to change that. We need to change that out immediately. So anyway, Grumpy.
SP says, what's our top line? We don't have one. Bo, Barzy, Wally would be ideal, but that's a very weak first line, as usual.
D-Cut says, TJ, I sent you the Alyssa Milano poster. Don't treat me like a manual and read the message.
Oh, wow.
Wait.
Oh, my God. Joe Miga says, WTF, spongy-ass rat.
I don't know. That's what you're talking about, SpongeBob. Drew Grumpy.
I guess Lou has to rub free agents on his skin so he can sign his free agents forever. He rubs the lotion on his skin.
That's another SpongeBob reference.
Grumpy. Oh, okay. I was thinking about
rub the chocolate on his skin. If he rubs the chocolate on her skin, it's going to allow her to live forever.
Okay.
If you rub the chocolate on your skin, you'll live forever.
Grumpy. I remember in Silence of it rubs the lotion on its skin.
Here you go, Grumpy.
Ponyboy Curtis says, TJ, go hide in the bathroom. I'm going to buy me and your brother a ticket. We're gonna we're gonna go sit down and watch a few previews. Then your brother will come in and meet you in the bathroom and give you my ticket.
Oh,
Sounds
there.
like Pony Bird Curtis knows all my tricks.
Oh, Ponyberg Curtis also says,
3 of us get him for the price of 3. TJ's childhood.
oh, he meant to say 3 of us get him the price for 2.
Okay.
That was Grumpy. I remember Grumpy. I remember once we got you in trouble with the warden because we were movie hopping.
We movie hopped one day.
One day. And we went to the
One day.
Pokemon. I remember that was when the Pokemon movie was out. We went to a Pokemon movie.
So actually, that was it was so much suffering for me. It was actually, I feel like it took years off my life.
You know, I was sad that day because that original Pokemon movie, they came out with these special cards, the little holographic cards that we didn't get because we went a movie hop. So we didn't get the little card that you were supposed to get with the movie.
Well, which movie did you go to first?
I don't even remember.
Probably got something for that one.
Oh, BS. There you go. Alexander Grumpy.
Speaking of movies, how about that commercial as Matt Barzal was in with Spittin' Chicklets? I didn't see it.
I saw it. It's an old one. It's an oldie. They never actually aired it. Grumpy, giving you an update. 22 votes now. TJ 41%. Grumpy Old Man 59. TJ is moving up in the polls. We need more people to jam and spam TJ in the comments. That's what we need here. Go to YouTube, start slamming down TJ so the votes count. We'll nullify all these Grumpy votes. The Wicked 50 Cow's got a comment for you, Grump.
Guys, the Star Wars holiday special is the worst movie of all time. I don't think it was a movie. It was a TV special.
The Ponyberg Curtis says,
what's the worst movie, bar none, you've ever seen in your life? I'll have to think about that. I've seen a lot of bad movies. And I've seen movies, like I said earlier, that were bad, but they were so bad that I liked them. But
Starship Troopers is one of those shitty movies.
No, Starship Troopers is not a bad movie. Absolutely not.
Okay. The Wicked 50 Cow, Grumpy.
Movies that are bad, but because they are good. The Room and Samurai Cop. I don't know about The Room. I never seen Samurai Cop. I'm thinking movies like Roadhouse, The Car. I mean, that's good stuff. Scavenger Hunt. I mean, those movies are not great, but I love them. Guilty pleasure movies. We need to do a guilty pleasure movie episode. That's what we need to do.
Matthew S. said, your lips to God's ears. Anthony R. Grumpy.
I hear Bodie Wild is being invited to training camp. Why? I hope they really give him a fair chance to get back into the good graces of the organization. Not happening. Absolutely not.
Oh,
they'll say they are, but they won't. He's going to get Hosanged. Just release him. You have no interest in him, release him.
CJ's got a comment, Grumpy, for you to read.
Ring in the hat, TJ? How did you F up that saying? It's hat in the ring. Grumpy, you need to TJ to not make an ass clown out of himself. Sorry, TJ. No offense. Actually, what you say is, sorry, TJ, no offense, but, and then say those things. Yeah, he always gets that stuff always backwards. It's hard. He's been taught the right way to do things. He's just freaking stupid.
CJ, I'm going to cry myself to sleep tonight. I don't know how I'm going to be able to sleep, CJ. I'm going to cry. Anthony R. He's got for you.
We already saw that.
Oh, yeah, gotcha. That was a repeat.
What's that character that CJ is again?
Grumpy, what does that look like? It looks like your favorite Power Ranger, right, Grumpy?
Like, it's not the Power Rangers, though. It's something else.
I was just giving you a hard time.
In anime, Japanimation.
just to let all the viewers know who listened last Saturday, I called up the Grumpy Old Man. I called my brother, Grumpy Old Man's other son. I said, Grumpy Old Man tried to say you're the one who introduced him to what the word hentai was.
He did.
And he did not take credit for that. He said, no, absolutely not. So Grumpy,
he's wrong.
Grumpy, what are you listening to or watching?
He's absolutely wrong. He's absolutely wrong.
He said he never.
I don't care what he said.
I don't know who to believe, Grumpy. You or the other son. I don't know, Grumpy.
Believe whoever you want. Like I said, as soon as what I thought about him, like, oh yeah, that damn, he did it. That's right.
That damn, he did it. Yeah. What we need to do is we're gonna have to search your cache, Grumpy. We're gonna have to search your Google search history. Grumpy, to give you another update. TJ now at 43%. Grumpy old man 57. TJ's getting closer. Make sure you spam TJ. All we need is 157 million more votes for TJ. Here you go, Grumpy. Another one.
Snakes on the Plane, worst movie, best movie, Commando. Commando is another guilty pleasure movie, not one of Arnold's best. Snakes on the Plane is not as bad as they make it sound. Plan 9 from Outer Space has been acknowledged as the worst movie ever, and it is freaking bad. It is, but it's so bad that you have to watch it. It's like only like, I don't know, I think 84 minutes long. So it's a short watch. It feels like 3 hours, but it's only 84 minutes. And the characters are just terrible.
Nick D says, don't forget to smash that like button. Absolutely. Do not forget to smash the like button. Matthew S says, as long as he doesn't go to the effing ragdolls. Grumpy, you get another comment.
Grumpy, most Ranger fans are subterranean crustaceous critters from the dark that dwell in the sewers and crawl out of the gutter. TJ compares acquiring Alex Romanov for a first rounder to statutory rape.
So I think I said it was worse than statutory rape.
These are things that we've said. That's right.
Yeah. Hyperbolic. Yeah. Perhaps our show is tiny bit hyperbolic. Perhaps.
Occasionally.
Perhaps we go over the top for, Anyway, he's saying,
where's my boy, Empire State Construction? I don't know where Frank is today.
Positive hot take. Ratu suits up for more games this year than Matt Martin.
Okay.
I would be happy about that, but maybe that would require Matt Martin to have a season-ending injury on game 1. The Wicker Man says, I think Salo beats out Aho for the 6th defenseman. My bet is on Salo for the 6th defenseman spot, says SP. John Smith said, who said it was the next morning at the police checkpoint?
I thought I read that somewhere that it was the next day or something. Who knows?
Max P said 0.01%. I guess if you smell alcohol, you can't drive in Sweden for at least an hour. I'm sorry. And thanks for that one, John. It was 0.02%. He blew a 0.03.
Still pretty low.
Yeah. Stephen B. Grumpy.
You'll never show Cholowski play. He sucks.
He sucks defensively. Yeah.
Yeah. He used to play for Detroit. I know. I mean, I don't think much of him. I would rather have Calvin DeHaan. Let's transition. I mean, who the hell? Lou doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Whenever I see moves like this, it's like, what is this?
Yeah, he's right. That's right. My bad, John. Frank K. Or Frank C.
Probably, remember that Kevin Weeks said 4 transactions are going to be made? Dobson, Romanov, Bellows, Cholowski. There's your offseason. 4 fingers way down.
Frank C. Grumpy. He says, what did you guys think about the Clutterbuck signing? I still don't understand why he was resigned. He's on his last leg.
Unnecessary, unneeded, didn't have to happen. Why? And why was it 2 years? Just 1 year vet minimum. You want to come back? 1 year, $750K. That's it.
Giving a 36-year-old fourth line right winger 2 years is nonsense. I mean, the guy is a cashed out 36-year-old. It's as simple as that.
He's not 36. He's 34. He'll be 35 in season.
Ponyberg Curtis said Salo is going to be an intensive long-term rehabilitation program. I think he meant Aho. And he also says driving over the limit, I don't care where you are or how much you drink, it should be illegal. Yeah, it was. It's why he got popped in Sweden. I know the rules are different here than there, but Drew L said, I said it 2 months ago, the Yankees are pulling the 2007 Mets.
They don't have a manager who can lead them out of the darkness, it seems like.
No, Ponyberg Curtis, he said, this is a serious problem. Aho is clearly one of those addict, alcoholic, sick people that needs help. Throw him in a Swedish prison and let his ass and put his ass in rehabilitation.
That would be mistaken identity because it was Sebastian Aho, not Robin Salo.
And SP said, here we go again with TJ's insane hatred for Ant-Man. I just don't like the character. I like Paul Rudd, but not Ant-Man. And it's always Ant-Man because it's a fucking think about it. It's an ant. It's a freaking ant. It's a superhero. He goes and shrinks down to a freaking ant size.
But he can grow. He can get huge too. He goes both directions.
So I have the ability to get small and big. What fucking type of superhero talent is that? A guy puts a suit on. That means he's not a superhero. The power's in the suit.
True.
It's just dumb. The entire concept is dumb. Superheroes were created back in the 60s and the 70s, or is it even before then in the 50s? I don't remember when the hell superheroes were created. A way long time ago. But it was to be like, I'm going to suspend animation. I'm going to suspend all the belief that this person has got super abilities and he could do it. I mean, it became like, hey, if you don't have a lot going for you and you're kind of down in the dumps, I can rely on superhero. I can live vicariously through them by reading these comics. That's what they're about.
By reading these comics?
Yes.
Alexander says, TJ, you got to understand that these are part of the comics. And Ant-Man was a really good movie. He's trying to rationalize with you.
Ant-Man was a good movie. Ant-Man was a good movie.
You're so irrational.
I liked Ant-Man the movie. I don't like the concept of it, though. I like the movie. I think Paul Rudd's a great actor, too. Ponyberg Curtis says, TJ's
blind ignorance of Ant-Man.
Intolerance.
I'm going to say
tolerance, Grump.
Ignorance.
Read the comments as they are written.
God, this guy's like a sociopath.
Here you go, Grumpy. I'll let you read another one.
TJ, that's an intense book collector behind you. You a fantasy fan or are those somebody else's books? Okay. You listen to how TJ reads comments, you know they're not his books. If they are, they just got fancy covers and they're just blank pages that he can color in.
This is my favorite Jane Austen book. 4 classic novels.
Jeez.
I don't even know the novels that are in there. These are my favorite. Sense and Sensibility, Pride and Prejudice, and Emma. Persuasion. Those are my 4 favorite books.
There you go. Next we get to the 4th one eventually.
Those are I read this on a daily basis. They're my favorite books. There it is. Yeah, this is my collection, SB. Mm-hmm. What do you think? I don't read these books back here, Grumpy, or something?
No comment.
Oh, Drew L said, one time a friend told me a story about his ex and said that, Jesus. Well, never mind. I don't know how we got to that one. I just popped it up on screen. I didn't read it ahead of time. Mario says, have you guys seen the Ring of Power series on Prime? I'll be watching it. I hope I'm not disappointed.
I heard a review today. Not promising.
It's supposed to be during the time period.
Not promising was the review I heard today.
Great.
For someone who knows these things. Not
who is that, Grumpy?
promising.
Who is somebody who knows these things?
My nephew. He's big into that stuff.
He didn't like it.
Hated it. Said they wasted so much money on this. They spent $700 million on CGI and 30 cents on the rider. Those are exact words.
Holy shit. That's not good. I know he watches a lot of that stuff too. He knows that stuff. Okay, I trust him. Crap. I was gonna watch it. I watched a little bit of review on it. I got whatever. Drew L said, by the way, I want to pick 3 through 6 in the draft. Hopefully, I got pick 5 in the first draft. Got Daniel Carlson. I know he's fucking around with us. Stop.
Okay. So he wants picks 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's not the way it works, Joe.
Grumpy, looks like right now we're up to like 14 people in this league. 14 or maybe more. I think 14 right now. We got a few more people. I think 14 we can fit in one league. We won't have to separate them in 2 different leagues. I think we should be fine on that. If it goes to 16, then we'll split them into 2 leagues of 8. But I think 14.
That's going to be a pretty shallow talent pool.
We're going to have a shallow talent pool, ladies and gents. That we will. Kyle Scott says, hey, what's up, Kyle? How are you? Paul O.C. Grumpy says, we have strong goaltending, good defense, and we're good at center. We just have to work on a wingers. So I can't see us making the playoffs.
Yeah, because that's only like 8 guys on your roster.
PTO Edit says the Canes and the Rags compete for the top. The Devils, Jackets, and Flyers are in the basement. The Islanders, Caps, and Penguins will fight for the bottom 2 spots.
I think the Penguins are up top. I think for the 4th and 5th spot, it's us in Washington.
Yep,
that's what I think.
Absolutely. And here's the thing too. Don't sleep on the Devils and the Blue Jackets as much.
Mm.
I think they're still on the outside looking in, but don't be shocked if they're kind of closer to us than you imagine or closer to the Capitals than we imagine. I think they're getting ready to migrate into a competing for a playoff spot here in the upcoming future.
The Blue Jackets were only 4 points behind us in the standings. And they got Johnny Gaudreau, and they made some other upgrades too.
Ponyberg Curtis Grumpy.
Boys, what if a team like the Devils really make a push this year? Hamilton was injured and out last year. With him healthy, Palat, Hughes, their other young star. If they get good goaltending, what could happen?
Here's the thing. They were down to the third string goalie last year. Jonathan Bernier coming back from hip surgery. How will he fare? We'll find out.
He's gone. He's done. He's not on the team anymore.
No, he is on the team.
He's not their goalie. It's Mackenzie Blackwood, and who's the other guy? Vanacek?
Yeah, if you take Vanacek, they traded for.
Now, those are your two goalies. Forget Jonathan Bernier. Get Bernier out of your head, please. He's done.
Yeah, they've got a lot of young talent. They've got a yacht. I mean, I'd say Dawson Mercer was really good. That's the other young star I'm sure you're talking about. Alexander Holtz had a fantastic year for Utica. Unbelievable year. He was a top 10 pick. He's going to get his crack at the lineup. They've got a lot of young talent. Drew L says, TJ, can you pronounce this? Worcestershire sauce. I can. Grumpy, I'll put this up and I'll be back in a second.
Oh, my God. What a shocker. This year's draft is so deep. Apparently, it is a very 2015-esque draft class. Maybe even 2003. I do not want a first-round pick traded this year unless for a young and cost-controlled sniper. That's not going to happen. Snipers who are really good don't get moved. The young ones don't get moved. I also do not want to trade I just don't want to trade the first-round pick, period. I don't believe in trading first-round picks, particularly with a team as old as the Islanders are and going nowhere, which is where we are right now. Sorry, fans. That's just the truth. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm trying to acquire as many picks in the deep draft as I possibly can. At the deadline, I don't even care where we are. Let's say we're 9th, 10th in the standings, 8th, even 8th. Why not move Varlamov? Why not move Mayfield? You could maybe get a first 2 seconds for those guys and then move up. It goes a long way to restocking your team and making the transition from the old crappy group of players we have now to somebody we can look forward to in the future. That's what I would do anyway. Next comment. Wicked 50 Cal says, once again, Drew Licata, no shot. Matt S says, college football is overrated. Ponyboy Grump, have you ever gotten stoned off weed? No comment. Drew L says, Ponyboy, who hasn't? Max Power says, Ponyboy, that would be hilarious. Drew L says, TJ, don't have on Grumpy watching TV when you have to watch your Islanders game poverty style on your little Android phone. Very true. CJ says, get Grumpy a headset mic. Paulo says, if we can average 3 goals a game, we'll win a lot of games. So if you agree that we can all agree, it's our offense that needs to improve. True. I think we're a long way from averaging 3 goals a game. Drew says, TJ, can I rotate one comment on, one comment off? TJ needs 1. Grumpy reads 1. Wickerman. TJ should read, it's always funny to hear Grumpy correct him. Just kidding, TJ. Wicked 50 Cal says, Grumpy is objectively better at reading the comments, but TJ at points is so bad at them that it's so comical. Ponyboy says, boys, when are we calling in? Not today. Drew says, Alabama up 55-0. Jeez. Drew also says, I think Georgia being up 49-3 is more impressive since they're playing Oregon. I don't think Oregon's that good, but still a very impressive victory for defending national champions. Wicked 50 Cal said, that's why I voted for TJ, sorry. Paolo says, guys, do you think Lou should have went and got Tyler Hall instead of Palmieri? I think both of them are Palmieri's not a dog, and Hall is more talented, but Hall can be a dog. and I don't think he would have worked out here. S&P says Kane has 1 year left on his contract. If they want a hefty sum, I'm not going near him. True that. Tony Cheese says, oh no, this is the werewolf gate all over again. D-Cut says, TJ skipping my comments.
I didn't skip any of your comments, D-Cut.
He deleted them. Ponyboy says, D-Cut, he is a subterranean bum.
To give you an update, grumpy old man, on where the votes lie. Holy shit, it's getting close, boys. 48% TJ, 52% grumpy old man. Oh my goodness, ladies and gents.
I don't know if you heard, but I read some comments that people are voting you just because you're so comically bad.
I don't think so. I think people are voting me because they really enjoy.
Maybe that's the truth. I don't know, but it seems like I got through half the comments by the time it took you to take a leak.
Oh my God. Oh, Jesus Christ. Don't I be in timed when I'm taking a piss now? I feel like I'm over here like I got clocking. Hey, buddy, I know you got a 2 minute long piss, but you know.
Drew L says weeks 1 to 3 are always the weirdest weeks for fantasy football. Of course, QBs don't really have that rapport with their receivers yet. It depends.
Matthew S saying Alyssa Milano with a little bit of a love eyes.
Hottie patati.
And laughing out loud at Ponyboy Curtis with the TJ facepalm pick. And CJ Grumpy.
Didn't Kane get accused of rape or assault after a game in LA a while back? I thought it was something in Buffalo. Which is
Buffalo
where he's
sounds
from.
familiar. I can't tell you why though. Drew L said, so the Yankees are 1-6 in their last 7. They're batting so godly with runners in scoring position, or so shittily. Or maybe gaudy with runners in scoring position. It's not like that was their problem all season. Intended sarcasm.
It's the same thing I've said all year about the Yankees. Eventually, you're going to stop hitting home runs. Can you just drive in runs by putting the ball in play? That all season, since the beginning of the year, is not what I've been saying about the Yankees. And I'm not saying they can't turn around, but that's why I like the Mets as a better constructed team. D-Cut says, TJ, last year you were curious what TID stands for. Take it deep is what it means.
I was not expecting that's what it meant. Drew L said, Grumpy, do you think TJ would be a good ASMR YouTuber since you always compliment his voice?
What's an ASMR?
It's kind of like the sounds, like people get close to the microphone and they speak like this. And they'll make like noises and they'll do like really, really small. It's like ASMR.
I think TJ does have a good voice. I do.
Audio sensory something recording. I don't know.
I have no idea. I just think he's got a good voice.
CJ says, TJ, gonna take the Joe Biden route to rig the poll with the poll. Oh, goodness. D-Cut says, TJ once again ignoring the negative comments about his little buddies, Phil's Facts or Andy. I haven't seen a single one of those.
But not.
Paulo C says here, Grumpy, I know all movies with Tom Hanks make me fall asleep. Maybe just for a very few. I
don't know. I think Tom Hanks has put out quite a few good movies actually.
And
but I think his movies are a little overrated. I do.
Drew L's got a comment, Grump.
I was watching old Toronto Maple Leafs games today, and man, especially from the 90s and the early 2000s, the introductions where they show kids like skateboarding were so cool. Bring that back.
Pony Park Curtis says, wow, TJ, did you rat on your dad to the warden about movie hopping? Bro, if you did that, you're 100% certified whack.
Yes,
here's the thing. Let me paint it. Mom asked, or the warden asked how the movie was. And I said, it was great. We got to see that and Pokemon.
Guess what he did? We snuck into the second one. You have no idea. We didn't go back and buy more tickets.
Did I really say that?
I have no idea, but you're a rap bastard.
How? I was like 5 or 6 years old. What did you expect?
No, you're older than that.
How old was I?
I don't know. I don't know when the Pokemon movie came out.
Give me a sec.
Next comment.
No, I got to pull this shit up now.
Grumpy, you need to watch Trailer Park Boys. Give it an honest chance. I watched a little bit. I was unimpressed.
You got to watch a few. I was 6 years old when that happened. Trailer Park Boys is hilarious. You literally have to get through the first season. Once you get through the first season, it is fantastic.
You know what? I can't. Can
With
I just skip
all
to the
of how
second
tied
season?
up your schedule is because you have no
Maybe I
available
could just
time
skip to the
sitting on.
second season. Maybe
No,
I just skip to
motherfucker,
the
you
second.
got to watch the first season in order to
Why?
develop the characters. It
It was
develops the characters. It's a slowly developing show. It's really good show, though. It is.
okay. Next.
D-Cut says TJ is counting mail-in votes from all of his little buddies like Bill Sack, Sandy Francis.
That's
Tom
right,
Gotta
Sam.
be grumpy.
That's right, D-Cut. That's right.
Oh, we're at 50-50 right now, ladies and gents. Oh my goodness. We can just keep
It's
it
gonna
here.
be. It's gonna be like when I went to bed. Trump was up 1 million votes in Pennsylvania. I woke up. He lost by 2 million. Don't ask me how when the polls were closed for 15 hours.
Drew S said Islanders 41-0 and haven't given up a goal. And lead the league in goals scored. Grumpy old man, burn it all down. Trade everyone. That would be if we were 41-0. Grumpy would find something to complain about. He would have to. He'd find like, oh, they're not doing this right or that right. He would find something to bitch about.
I'm willing to bet that we're not going to be 41-0.
Maybe.
And with 0 goals against. I'm gonna say that's probably going to be over opening night.
Oh man. Ponyberg Curtis says here, who's your worst first round draft pick in the last 30 years? And why is it Michael Del Cole?
Simon Holmstrom.
Really? He's the worst.
He sucks. Well, okay. Michael Del Cole was bad because he was number 5. How about Josh Bailey at number 9? He blows. There's so many bad picks. Robert Nielsen was terrible. Simon Holmstrom, he's never going to play in the league. Just had so many bad picks. So many.
Nino Niederreiter wasn't a good pick.
Yeah.
He was a 5th round pick. Okay.
We ruined him. He turned out to be a player just for somebody else.
Fair enough.
How many guys who were in the first round in the 2019 draft haven't played at all in the league?
Let me see. I'll pull it up.
And why is it only Simon Holmstrom?
So out of those selections, 2019 in the first round, there have only been 6 players that haven't played yet an NHL game. Samuel Poulin, Simon Holmstrom, Jacob Pieltier, Ryan Suzuki, John Beecher, and Ryan Johnson.
Ryan Suzuki hasn't played any games in the pros.
He got hurt. I remember he plays for Carolina. The team said the entry level is going to be a lot tougher, but he got hurt last year and I think the year before in the A. So he's had some injury problems. Okay, if I recall.
Right. Holmstrom just has a talent problem. Ponyboy Curtis says CJ is Ant-Man.
And he also says, Grumpy, what's your favorite anime?
I don't know anything about anime.
Technically, Pokemon's anime, Grump.
Oh, it's not that. I don't know. I remember I saw you go into a bookstore, old-timey bookstores, and I saw anime and I saw Sailor Moon. That's the only thing I ever saw. Some little girl with big eyes. Big eyes. I'm like, who the hell is this big-eyed bitch? It's Sailor Moon. Okay.
Who the hell is this big-eyed bitch?
And that's it. I just put the book. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Hold on. What drew you to pick up? Because you look just like, who's this one with who's this big?
It was by the entertainment section, and I'm like,
did you start flipping through the pages?
No. All I saw was the top. I'm like, man, this chick's got some big eyes. She's got big eyes, right?
I don't remember. She's blonde. The thing that disturbs me is men dress as that girl.
Stop.
I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you, Grumpy.
You know what they ought to do, those guys?
Sailor Moon.
They ought to line them up against the wall and just shoot their asses.
No, stop.
Gun them down.
No.
Useless.
Sailor Moon. Let me see here. Sailor Moon.
She got big eyes, I think, right? And she's like in a dress, like a blue dress, I think.
Dude. Oh my God. There are definitely men who dress up as Sailor Moon. Hold on a second.
Stop.
I'm not. Hold on. Let me give you a few pictures. Let me get you a few of them. My God, it's not good. Oh my God, Grumpy. It's like the people who. Do you know what a brony is, Grumpy?
Brony?
Yes.
Like a jabroni?
No. So there was, when I used to work at the movie theater, there was somebody who, and I should have known this was sus as soon as I saw it, but people who like My Little Pony. Are you familiar with what My Little Pony is?
I've heard it's a little cartoon, right? A little kid's cartoon. What the fuck? Who is this? Is this My Little Pony?
No, this is Sailor Moon. Men dress up as Sailor Moon.
The only cure for this guy is a bullet.
Stop, Grumpy. Stop. Maybe they just like the comic or something.
Oh, come on. No.
They like the
No.
comment. That's all.
No.
That's all it is, Grump. That's
No.
all it is, dude.
Need a machine gun. Take these guys. Freaks.
Stop, Grumpy. There's only a few people that do it, okay?
What? Yeah, look it up. Hi.
No, Grumpy, there's a whole bunch of dudes who do this. That's what I'm saying.
To the side of his hair. Looks like
He's got a haircut. What can I say?
That looks like your hair, TJ.
Are you saying I'm dressing up as Sailor Moon in my?
Oh, look at this guy! Forget about
it. There's a lot of guys who dress up as Sailor Moon. And
why? Why are you dressing up like a woman? Do you think is that Sailor Moon? I thought Sailor Moon wore a dress.
She does. That is the dress that Sailor Moon wears.
That guy's not wearing a dress.
Maybe they've got a man Sailor Moon. I don't know. I really don't know. I can't tell you.
Sailor Buffoon is who this guy is.
She does have big eyes now that I'm looking at Sailor Moon.
Yeah, she's got big. Where's the comic? That's all I want to see. I don't want to see these drips. Okay. Oh, actually, this looks different. I didn't know. I don't know who Sailor Moon is.
Maybe you didn't pull up. Maybe you didn't look at Sailor Moon then.
I remember the name. I thought it was some girl. Big eyes. I mean, really big eyes. Like big eyes. Big. Way bigger than that. Like big as her head almost. I don't know. What the hell? Like I said, I don't look at that. I went to the bookstore. I saw the name Sailor Moon. Maybe I heard the name Sailor Moon.
All of these anime characters have big eyes sometimes.
Yeah, that's where they draw them in Japan. They all got big eyes.
Hold on a second here. Let me see. I'm going to try to see if I can get a Sailor Moon one with big eyes to see which one.
This one here's got big eyes. That's not even who I'm thinking of. I thought the other one had like little. I don't even know. Pigtails.
This is pigtail almost. This is.
But it was like. I don't know. That's not. Maybe I don't know.
Okay, we're done. We're done on this though. Okay.
What happened to her nose? Did she have rhinoplasty?
She got a nose chopped off or something?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
God almighty. CJ says it's Kari, aka Lupin Red.
Lupin Red from Lupin Ranger versus Pat Ranger. The 42nd Super Sentai Series 1.
Not super.
I'm glad he remembers that because I forgot. Lupin Red, sorry. You know what's sad is Grump knows more about Pokemon than TJ. It's pretty cool, actually.
He does not know
Ash Ketchum. Gotta catch them all. And they had the brother and sister, the Cersei and her other brother there, who were trying to plot against them, the Rocket Team or something, right?
Team Rocket, Jesse and James.
Yeah.
D-Cut says, Braves win. Mets lose. Lead down to 2 games. Take it deep, little buddy Matthew S. Oh, no. Pony Curtis says, Grump, what do you think about Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter?
I didn't watch it because the name was so stupid that I'm like, no.
There's the same thing with me. I remember that at theaters. Brett W. Grumpy.
Grumpy, have you ever seen any of Herschel Gordon Lewis films from the 60s and 70s? His stuff is pretty bad. Pretty much that's so bad they're good. Blood Feast and 2000 Maniacs are probably his best known. I'm not a big fan of that type of horror movie. I like Dawn of the Dead, but just like the mindless, gory blood fests, no, never been a fan of those for whatever reason. No.
Brett,
so no, I'm sorry, Brett.
I also don't expect. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you finish?
No, I was going to read the next comment.
Okay.
Nobody understands why they re-signed Cal Clutterbuck, especially with Ross Johnston signed already. Why did they re-sign Johnston when they had Matt Martin, or Matt Martin when they had Ross Johnston? No need to re-sign either one of them. But if you're going to do it, just re-sign one. You don't need to sign both.
Ponyberg Curtis says, will Matt Barzal wear a yarmulke at the wedding? I don't know. Is that like sacrilege, or do they wear that? I don't think he's Jewish, is he?
You know what? I don't know.
It's a Jewish wedding. If you're not of Jewish, you're not a Jewish religion, you throw a yarmulke on? I don't know. These are the questions we need to know.
I don't know.
Frank C says, I read the same thing about Aho. He was pulled over the next day.
Yeah.
Okay. Pony Curtis says, why don't you guys bring D-Cut on the podcast video style? D-Cut's got an invitation. He knows he was having he'll be on later on, but
when next year, because preseason starts in 2 weeks.
He'll be on. He'll be on. I've invited him. He'll be
Bring
on.
him on with
He'll be
Phil.
He's-
That should be
Was
fun.
that? Was that?
Bring him on to attack Phil. That should be fun.
Oh, stop. CJ says, guess math is not TJ's strong suit either. No, I'm good with math. What do you mean? Great with math.
What's 2 + 2?
I think like 18. The Wicker Man says the 2007 Mets, they were like 7-17. Their pitching just shut down. This year, the Yankees team might not even finish in second. I think the Mets made a mistake not firing Willie Randolph after that collapse.
I always like Willie Randolph. Always.
I did too.
As a player, I just like Willie Randolph. Always a class act.
And CJ says a Ring of Powers is woke social justice warrior trash, isn't it? I have no idea. Jay said a Jane Austen reference was not on my bingo card. I'm sure talking about anime was not in your bingo card either. Talking about Sailor Moon. You're grumpy.
Grump, who is your favorite character in Rocky Horror? Susan Sarandon. She was young and hot back then.
Fair enough. Max Power says
Meatloaf was in there. TJ, you know who Meatloaf is?
He's an artist. He sings.
What did he sing? Name anything that he sang. Anything.
Cheeseburger in Paradise.
Ugh.
He's from Cheeseburger in Paradise. Oh, that was the Bruce Springsteen, right? Oh yeah.
No, that's not Bruce Springsteen or Meatloaf.
Meatloaf, I thought, saying Cheeseburger in Paradise. No.
No.
Give me a hint.
Give you a hint for what?
What song that Meatloaf sings?
Bat.
Oh, what the fuck? That's not a hint.
Paradise by
the beach, by the sun, by the moon, by the Paradise by the bats. I don't know.
I would do anything for love, but
but I won't do that.
Yeah, I mean, I practically sang the song to you, but yeah.
Oh,
Bat Out of Hell.
Or oh no, Bat Out of Hell. Okay.
Paradise by the Dashboard Light. 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Who is your favorite wrestler? Current or in the past? I mean,
Name
like
both.
I always liked.
Wing it. Name both.
Okay, I always liked years ago before he became popular. I always liked Kofi Kingston. That son of a gun could move and he was so athletic in what he did, but he could just, I think he didn't have the ability to speak like some of the other wrestlers did.
He's still wrestling.
I know, but he went through a time period where he was champion, I think, Kofi Kingston. I stopped watching wrestling at that time, but Kofi Kingston is the current, maybe past wrestler. I mean, like The Rock. I always liked Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I was more of a Dwayne The Rock Johnson than a Steve Austin guy. It was more Dwayne The Rock. So, those are my guys.
For me, my first favorite wrestler, because things change. Don Leo Jonathan was my favorite, going way, way, way back. I hated Bruno Sammartino. Hated him. Always liked the bad guys. Ken Patera is a bad guy. I like Bob Backlund, though. Really nice gentleman also, just to let you know. Loved The Rock, Hulk Hogan. Who doesn't like Hulk Hogan? Was always more of a WWF fan as opposed to NWA. Ricky Steamboat was great. Ted DiBiase was fantastic. I have so many guys I like. Modern day guys, man, I don't even know. I like Bray Wyatt. I kind of like him. I like guys who have good characters. I agree with you, TJ. I was never a big, huge Steve Austin fan, but I like The Rock. Absolutely like The Rock.
Punter Carter says, Grump, do you ever watch reality TV? Yes, he does all the time.
The Warden likes reality TV. She likes all those housewives shows. The only one I watch is the Housewives of New Jersey. The only one.
They've got that stupid commercial with DirecTV where it's like the housewives are on the dude. That shit, I hate that commercial already. I'm going to see that for the next, I don't know,
forever,
the next 24 weeks,
all year,
until the season's over. Yeah, I was about to say
year.
this is the good and bad thing about the opening week of football. We see a whole bunch of new commercials. Some are funny, some are not, but we're going to see those commercials now until freaking Super Bowl Sunday's over. And I'm just like, shit.
Teresa Giudice.
CJ says the only way I trade our 2022 first round pick is for Timo Meyer.
I don't even know if I do that because you have to pay him.
Right now, we're at, to give you an update, 33 cast votes, 48% TJ, 52% grumpy old man. So it's
Oh,
close.
very close.
So you said, "What are you doing? Taking a shit? Where'd he go?" And he said, "It's an unusually long time in the bathroom.
It was
I
a
guess I
long
get
time.
timed when I go to the bathroom. I can't take a piss in peace, huh?" SB said, "TJ, I was referring to the Mistborns of Lord of the Ring behind you. Can't make anything else out. Although I sense an intense sarcasm in your answer. The Mistborns."
Okay, I'll go to the next one.
Yeah.
Jay says it's tied 50-50 comeback of the year.
I know, comeback of the year, Jay. But now I'm back. Now I'm back and lose. We need. Oh no. Okay, Grumpy, you've won. I concede, Grumpy. CJ says, TJ took off the Alyssa Milano picture to the bathroom. To the bathroom accounts for the 15 seconds. What about the other 10 minutes and 42 seconds?
Oh wow.
SP said, "Vote Grump." Jay said, "Grumpy secretly voted for TJ. Heartwarming father."
There
son.
you go. There you go.
SB says, "TJ has a good voice. Can we get TJ singing? Get a TJ singing performance? I don't
think he
sing
can
well.
sing. He can't sing.
Can't." Brett W says he'd laugh my ass off. Grumpy just called out TJ. Rat Fink.
Just called you out, TJ.
Punabaker says TJ Little's his little bathroom breaks. I think he's doing drugs or taking shots of liquor. And he says, TJ, have you ever gotten stoned off of weed? No. Grumpy, have you ever partaken, or do you ever partake on potpourri?
Oh, you got it
Potpourri.
right. I can't believe you got it right.
And you guys ever puff together? No. Grumpy did. I know back in the day. I never did. Naughty Grump. Look at this. Would it be a freaking show without the Giga Chad himself commenting in Grumpy? Do you know who this is? Do you know who this is, Grump?
Shamed him into putting the other picture back up.
Do you know who it is, though?
That was the worst, and that was like we had pick 6 in a 5-player draft.
Oh man, look at this. It's Sal P, the Giga Chad himself, wearing his Maddie in the Jag shirt. Where you can find that great merchandise is on the link in the description below on TJ and the Grumpy Old Man on the Etsy shop. He says, "What's up, fellas?" Scott Sissions was the guy that we picked in the first round. In the very next pick after, Pittsburgh took Yager.
Yeah, like I said, we had pick 6 in a 5-player draft.
Tony Ricardo says, "Grump, what's your favorite subgenre on hentai?"
You'll have to ask my other son. He knows all about it.
I'm just glad you know what that is now.
Now I know. Now I know what it is. I didn't know. What was it? Friday, Wednesday? I didn't know then, but I know now.
Grumpy, he's got a funny comment for you to read.
Emmanuel, change your Twitter name to FB or Facebook name to Phil's Facts, and TJ read your message 30 seconds after you send them.
I feel bad. So like, even when Phil's messaging me, sometimes I'll go like a few days without messaging him back, and I'm just like, I just need to look at I just need to look at the, I don't know. I just need to be more attentive to responding back to messages. That's my resolution. An end of the year resolution. Brett W says Del Cole was really bad. He didn't even get a PTO anywhere this offseason. He's officially done.
I agree.
Declan says here, Grump is canceled with a laughing face. Dress says, "Why am I not shocked TJ falls asleep at the movies?" Grump is going to get canceled. What did you do to get canceled, Grumpy?
I don't know, telling those guys that they needed a bullet since they were wearing silly little girl costumes.
Oh, no. Bob B said the problem isn't the picks, it's Brent Thompson.
I think it's a combination of both.
Puerto Curtis says, Grumpy, you should be more tolerant of people who dress up like Sailor Moon or people who dress up in drag in general.
I'm allowed to have my opinion. They think that looks good. I disagree.
Andrew L says, lock it in. TJ shaves his head and Grumpy dresses as Sailor Moon if the Islanders win the cup. Here we go. That's Grumpy's funny.
Oh, wow.
I'll shave my head if the Islanders win the cup, and Grumpy will dress as Sailor. Dude, I'm pulling for the Islanders so hard right now to see Grumpy Man dress as Sailor Moon. Holy shit.
That's not even the Sailor Moon I was talking about.
That's Sailor Moon, Grumpy. You're dressing up.
I was thinking about somebody else. It's not Sailor Moon.
And
that girl had big eyes. I mean, big eyes.
I just Google searched men dressed as Sailor Moon. That's all it was, CJ. Pony Garcia says, if we win the cup, Grumpy Old Man has to reveal his name in real life. Dun, dun, dun. Also, his social security card, his social security card number and 3 digits on the back and pin, etc. Yeah, that's a good one too. Declan says, if we win the cup, Grumpy has to dress as Sailor Moon.
Sailor Moon.
Oh my God, Grumpy's pulling ahead now. I see. Yeah. Matthew S. said, D-Cut, stop hiding on Facebook. Your Yankees lose. Only 4 back. LOL. And the Wicked 50 Cal says here, TJ, you forgot to explain what a brony is to Grumpy. Yeah. So My Little Pony, for whatever reason, has a group of men. I think that's what the reason is for boy, God Almighty, a brony, a boy who's a fan of My Little Pony, so it comes out as brony, and they have like sexual thoughts about these
little horses.
About these little horses. Yes,
fuck.
This guy walked around at the movie theater because, like you said, hi, my name is. I'd say, hi, my name is TJ. I'm a fan of Kung Fu Panda, and people would ask me like, you're not seriously a fan of Kung Fu Panda? I'd be like, yeah, I am a fan of the movie. And some people are like, oh, that's a great movie. This guy walked around with, hi, my name is, I couldn't even remember his name. I'm a fan of My Little Pony. I shit you not. And he told me it's because I'm a fan of graphic design and the graphic design of the show and the plot line. He's trying to explain it to me like it doesn't make sense at all. But he walked around saying he was a fan of My Little Pony. I was like, now that later on down the road, I'm like, holy shit, that guy was a brony.
It's got to be a goof, right? Is that not a goof?
Yeah, he didn't stick it out long.
I'm saying anybody, any adult male who's a fan of My Little Pony, that's got to be a goof, right?
It's not. The stuff is when people find that stuff sexual. I'm like, that's like the. I mean, there's certain things I don't understand. Like I never understood. Grumpy canceled part 2.
Hold on. No. So they want to have sex with animated ponies. Is that correct?
Yeah. So cartoon ponies.
I'm sorry, they got issues.
They do have issues. I agree with that. That is an odd thing. So thanks for reminding me about that. Pony Curtis says, Grumpy, what do you think of Quentin Tarantino's foot? That is disgusting. I don't get foot fetishes. Like,
well,
what's good about feet? They literally are used as reasons to walk. They allow us to move.
Is that what they're used? What were they used for?
They're used to allow us to walk. What's the sexual fetishization on like feet? And now apparently it's bad if you go against what people's fetish is. It's something called anti-fetish. I don't even know what the hell it is.
Who cares?
Like, what?
I'm glad I don't see these people in the street because I just like, what the fuck is wrong with you, Buffalo Bill?
Buffalo Bill. Brett W said Dawn of the Dead is getting re-released Halloween weekend in 3D, Grump.
Wow. I like the guilty pleasure movie Dawn of the Dead, by the
SP
way.
said the real question is, Grump, have you watched Cats?
I did watch it.
The new one?
Well, they've only put out one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was bad.
I heard it was awful.
It was.
D-Cut said, I didn't want to say this because I didn't know if D-Cut wanted his medical information out there, but he said he had surgery for a torn and detached retina 8 weeks ago. Once it heals, I'll make my appearance, my friends. Yep, I didn't want to say anything in case he didn't want that information out. Putty McCurtis says, you guys ever watch Flavor of Love or Pimp My Ride?
I've heard of both shows. I've
watched Pimp My Ride. Yeah, it was a funny one back in the day.
Pimp My Ride, no. I don't have an interest in cars like that. And Flavor Flav and his big bitch, Bridget Nielsen on Flavor of Love, I didn't see, but it looked like that might be entertaining.
SP said, I only know Meatloaf from Tenacious D's Kickapoo. Whatever that is. Dashboard Light. Come on, TJ. And Ric Flair is the GOAT. I met him before. Woo!
Nice guy.
Ric Flair.
Nice guy.
He is a nice guy. D-Cut says, favorite WWF tag team, Rocky Johnson and Tony Atlas.
Tony Atlas, man. Tony Atlas. He looked great. Couldn't talk with the damn.
I remember when we saw Mark Henry. That son of a bitch. I remember seeing him on, and it was like he freaking bent a frying pan. I was like, holy shit. At the time period, I really didn't realize how much of a freaking massive humanity. This son of a bitch just went with 2 hands and bent the frying pan.
It was probably a working pan. It was a working frying pan.
No way in hell. That was a real frying pan he bent.
Okay.
And he bent it. I'm telling you. What, Grump?
It was probably a working pan, a working frying pan.
What do you mean by working frying pan?
I probably heated up
No.
the thing, melted a
No.
little bit.
Yeah, they heated it up. They said, here you go, Mark Henry. Grab this hot.
Make it where it's not, original
No
standard
way.
issue.
No way.
Okay.
No way. I saw that shit. I saw him bend it. That was real. I could tell what's real and what's not. That son of a bitch is huge. I've heard stories. The Big Show said Mark Henry was the strongest man he ever met. There was a bus. Their bus was trapped in by somebody's car. He literally went ahead and grabbed a towel. He picked it up by the axle and moved the car out of the way to go ahead and allow the bus. That son of a bitch has unbelievable strength. And that, I'm like, that frying pan he bent, I was like, that guy's the strongest son of a gun he's ever seen too, is what Big Show said in a podcast. So, yeah. Grump, did you know Bray Wyatt is Blackjack Mulligan's grandson?
I knew he was from that family, yes.
Put says, Grumpy or TJ, you never liked watching New Jack from ECW?
I loved ECW. I was never a fan of New Jack. I liked Beulah McGillicuddy and Francine. That's who I like. But yeah, no, I loved ECW. It was great. I liked the Dudley Boys. I love when Bubba Ray says, my name is Buh, and then somebody would smack him and said Bubba Ray Dudley and Big Dick Dudley and Sign Guy Dudley, Devon Dudley. I love the Dudley Boys. Great stuff.
CJ says Grumpy needs to see the South Park episode about wrestling. The wrestling fanatic hates how the kids are doing it, but you got to see the episode. It's funny. I like South Park. Grumpy doesn't, though.
Yeah, I've only seen a couple episodes of South Park.
Brett W says here, I saw Blackjack Mulligan wrestle Andre the Giant when I was like 7 years old.
Oh, man, I tell you, I used to watch wrestling all the time when I was a kid.
CJ says, TJ acting like Tekashi 6ix9ine, telling on everybody everything he and or Grumpy used to do. Movie hopping, smoking weed. What's next? 1-800 I'm telling. Oh, shit.
Yeah, I mean, what
you know
the
who
hell?
Tekashi 6ix9ine is, Grump?
No.
He's a rapper. You know what? After hearing Tekashi 6ix9ine on those podcasts, you know what? I have no problem with him ratting. I like Tekashi 6ix9ine.
So you're a rat.
I like his music too. Mr. B, Grumpy's got a comment for you.
Which player do you think will have the biggest positive surprise this season? Who do you think will have the biggest drop-off in production this season? I think the biggest surprise.
I'm going Wallstrom. Biggest drop-off. I'm going Nelson.
Yeah, I think Nelson's goals are going to drop. But he might put up almost as many points. But I think his goal scoring will drop.
Ooh. Go ahead.
And I'm expecting, gosh, I want to say Barzal.
Kyle Palmieri. I was about to say Kyle Palmieri or Oliver Wallstrom. Those are the two I think are going to have the biggest surprise.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to guess Grumpy's real name is Thomas, says Brett W. It's not. D-Cut says here, if Human Ambient is on Wednesday, at least start the show at 11 so I can fall asleep at 11:05.
Well, that's probably, it might even start at 11 if TJ's on TJ time.
But Curtis says, what do you guys think about Chris Benoit double murder suicide?
Yeah, what a shame. Terrible. You know about that, right, TJ?
What do you mean?
Chris Benoit?
Did that happen recently or something?
No, a number of years ago now. He
killed two people and killed himself, right?
He killed his wife and his son and then hung himself.
Yeah, I do remember hearing about that. Yeah.
Terrible.
I remember one guy killed himself lifting weights or something.
He hung himself from his weight. It was something in his weight room. That's what he did.
David D-Cut says here, Grump, I was at a match and the Iron Sheik beat Backlund. The match where the Iron Sheik beat Backlund for the title. People were crying in the crowd.
Yeah, by then, Bob Backlund, the fans, he was champ for 5 years and 10 months maybe after beating superstar Billy Graham for the title. And Hulk Hogan was coming in. They were going to give him the shot. They wanted Backlund to turn into a bad guy. He didn't want to do it. He wanted to leave in the WWF at the time. And, I mean, just a really nice man, class gentleman. And they had the Sheik, who he'd beaten, I don't know, hundreds of times. had him. He didn't actually beat him. Arnold Skolin, his manager, threw in the towel, which meant he fought for the title. The whole story was had a hurt shoulder. He was going to do permanent damage. This way, he didn't lose credibility with the fans. And then that's when Vince Jr. took over WWF, and the rest is history, as they said. Took it to heights never before seen.
Frank K says here, Ken Patera had the same trait as Mark Henry.
Ken Patera was a good wrestler.
And SP said, you don't know about Tenacious D? That's Jack Black's and his brother's band. Okay, I knew Tenacious D, the movie. Fair enough. I didn't know it was Jack Black's brother who starred in the movie with him. And CJ said, I'm heading out of this chat. Nights, gentlemen and ladies, if you're in here in the chat. Good night, CJ. Point of Curtis going to try to guess your name. Earl or Ferguson or Brad, Frank, Larry. None of those. Brett W says here, if Bellows plays with Matt Barzal, I think he can be the biggest surprise.
Why not?
SB said Grumpy's name is definitely Phil, which is why he hates Phil's facts so much to insult to his name. Ooh, Grumpy. I don't know. I'm not gonna. I can neither confirm or deny whether the grumpy old man's name is Phil or not. Phil. Maybe, I don't know. Frank C says here, Grumpy, throw some salt in TJ's eyes like Mr. Fuji.
Fuji and Tanaka.
Yeah.
The tag team champions from the Rising Sun. The land of the Rising Sun.
And then Punny Curtis said, TJ, do you ever drink Four Loko? No, dude, malt liquor, no way. That stuff would get you messed up. Frank says, I just got home from band practice. There it is, late to the party. And I was asking for earlier, my guy. Bo Backlund is really
Bob
Backlund.
Backlund.
Bob Backlund's a really nice man. He lives his gimmick. He still goes and visits 6 children.
Yeah. Even when they made him the Mr. Backlund character, where, he wanted people to learn about literacy, and it was at a time where people thought all that stuff was hokey, and he wound up being a bad guy. But just like I said, met him in person, just such a nice man.
Decaf for last comment says, the Piper's Pit, when he cracked the coconut over Snooker's head, was a classic.
Man, and he actually cracked it over his head. That wasn't a working coconut.
Yeah, well, Grumpy, man, we're here at the end of the show today. Grumpy won. People want Grumpy to read the comments, but guess what? It doesn't matter what you want. Doesn't matter what your name is. I still read the comments around here. I'll be the bad guy on that. That's fine. We got to give Grumpy breaks so he can respond to shit. So he can't be reading and making all the comments. Yeah, so we're here at the end of the show today. Grump, what do you want to say before we go ahead and wrap things up?
I want to see love and laughter at everyone who listens, and even those who don't, from TJ and the Grumpy Old Man.
Thank you, everybody, so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for TJ and the Grumpy Old Man Show. I'm going to make the league tonight, start sending out invitations. Get ready, except it's going to be Tuesday draft, 8 or 8:30. We'll have it out there. Thank you so much, guys, for listening to the show. And thank you again, Grumpy Old Man.
My pleasure.
And Grumpy, turn that effing TV off. We'll see you guys around.